Hey, everybody. Welcome to another poker coaching study session. This is a cash game session with cards face up. And this is our first hand. We are playing 50 cent a dollar on ignition. And we are in the small blind somehow. Somehow the first hand it recorded was in the small blind. That's weird. Here we go. Here's our first hand in the big blind. All right. King 5 should fold. Queen 9 suited should raise. Ace 7 should not defend. Queen 8 suited should fold. Let's see if that's what happens. Yep. There we go. We hate it when the right thing happens. Um, Ace 6 in the cutoff to is not a good raise, but we'll see if he calls like that. And otherwise, this should just fold around. And that's what it does. All right. Ace King should raise. This should fold around. We may see some weirdness from 6-7.
That
We
might
don't.
have that might have some slivers of three betting.
I don't. In the old ones it didn't. Let's see. Let's see if the wizard likes that. I haven't studied the wizard small blind range yet. So we'll go to six-handed.
Yeah, they're slivers.
Okay, good enough. He didn't do it. And if
Looks
these
like
guys,
we have a table of normies here.
yeah, it's only a few hands, but we're not happy with that. Here we go. 5-4 suited should open in the cutoff. Not pure for this in the wizard. This is still a mix, even in the cutoff.
So it's a low frequency mix.
Yeah, it's a low frequency raise, but he goes for it. And the Queen 7 should not fold. All right, and that defends by calling. And that seems right to me. Yeah, against the cutoff, Queen 7, yep. All right, he's going to win this. Good for him. Easy continuation bet. He even has a draw, and he can rep the ace very easily. Fold around to the ace 6 who raises it, and the 10-9 should not fold. And this is a pure defend. There's no folding here. Raises and he calls. That's fine. He can also 3-bet this with a 10-9 offsuit there if he wants to. Okay. I am always unhappy in this out of position situation because GTO has you checking a lot. And I have found that betting even out of position gets a lot of folds that when you check and you have a hand that can't really, I mean, this hand can call a bet, but when you have one that can't, you just lose the pot to somebody else's garbage hand. So I don't like GTO, but I'm just trying to do it. Let's see what he does. He just bets out and it's going to work. And he bets out big. Big bet board.
I don't know. I can
Well,
check it real quick.
It's
I think this
yeah, I
is
mean it's gonna be go ahead, Mike.
going to be one of those boards where you're going to get a higher frequency bet than typical because of the king high board, and it's
Yeah.
going to be small is my assumption.
Yeah, this doesn't hit anybody. The king hits the range and the 3 and the 7 are relatively irrelevant. So
Yeah,
it's like,
it's all small betting.
yeah, that
I
seems
think
right.
generally when it's range versus range, wide range versus wide range in this configuration, you often start with a small bet if you're gonna bet.
Hey
Okay.
Joey, what's the frequency? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, here, let me stop the share. Let's take a look at it. You got that open.
Where is it? All right, hang on. Let me set it up so I can share. Something's not coming through. All right.
Okay.
Now let me try to share again. Here we go. So we see here that 33% is really the sizing mostly used. And with the A6 of hearts, he's doing it 55% of the time.
Yeah. And the rest of the time when he checks, he's not going to check raise this. We're going to check call this, right? Let's give it a try. Check, and let's say that the big blind makes his standard size, the most common size. which is,
What did he had 10-9 off?
he had 10-9 off. He
Looks
does a
like
lot.
you go 33 or 50%.
Yeah,
Let's
let's do
try
the
33 first.
Yeah, that, because that's the one that's most likely to get a check raise. I
Oh
don't
wait,
think
that's not what I
I
wanted
think
to
we're gonna
do.
check call the ace six.
Mostly call.
Yeah,
There is a tiny bit of raising
a bit
with
of
the
raising. Okay,
ace six of hearts.
yeah. Okay.
Let's see if he goes bigger. Yeah, we're still calling if he goes a little bit larger.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to see anything
If
on
we
this
have,
board?
except look at our raises, look at our raises with the ace six. Look at how against the larger size, how they go down.
Yeah, well, that's typical.
Yeah,
The larger your opponent bets, your raises get smaller. So
yep, rate frequency goes down.
we raise a little under 7% in this. And
Mhm.
if we have him betting 2 instead, we're raising 10.5%.
Right, that's across the board. That's not our specific hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody
Okay,
else? Anybody want to see anything else on this?
that looks good. All right.
I just want to see something real quick.
Oh, okay, oh, wait.
Yeah, small blind has a range advantage
Mm-hmm.
and not really a nut advantage that much, but a tiny bit.
Yeah. This larger sizing that he does is probably about wanting to be one and done. You know, not, I mean,
Yeah,
a little bit of not trusting is what happens when the guy calls wide. Because the smaller he bets, the wider the guy calls.
or he
And
could just be doesn't know any better and he doesn't know anything about bet sizing and just types in whatever he thinks is best.
right, but when you do that, I think that the thought process is, I want this to be over. I want this bluff to work. I'm gonna make it bigger because I'm not, because the next card, unless it's an ace, is terrible for me. I don't want to have to continue. I don't want to continue with this hand.
I do see
And-
that often, and then the counter to that is that when you do call them and they are in position,
Mhm.
from my memory, they will shut down on turn.
But there
Yeah.
are so many good cards for small blind here. Any heart,
Yeah,
4, 5,
Yeah, you have an
ace.
over, a lot of hands to continue with.
Mhm. Fold, 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 king nine, raise, fold. Fold, raise, fold, king seven.
Beautiful.
King seven can three bet this. This is one of the, this is one of the three bets. No, sorry, that's three bet against the small blind. Against the button, king seven, just to fold. Just to fold. Raise, and ooh, extra small raise. See if he did, let's see if that's his normal sizing as we go forward. And he leaves. Guess we're not gonna see if that's his normal sizing anymore. All right. Fold to the, just fold it around. There we go. Fold, raise. And Jack 10 should call, Jack 10 should defend, and Jack 10 should defend by,
I think it mixes, but I would 3-bet this.
you just three bet this offsuit version. Okay. What we've got here in the wizard likes small blind raise, big blind. Has got a pure call here, but it does the bluffs the lower edges of it. But you're gonna extend that to the Jack 10. Let's see if he does. My feeling with these offsuit cards here is the reason you don't need to three bet is because you're in position. You don't mind seeing a flop with this hand.
What mode are you looking at? Cause
I'm looking at 100 big blinds deep, NL 50, 2.5, GTO, three bet, cash six max, classic. Small blind raises, big blind defense. That doesn't look like yours?
oh, I got mine on 150. All right.
All right,
Because mine
And
does
that's the-
have the raising it with Jack 10.
okay. Yep, this is it. They are at 100 in this case. Let's see what happens. If the king deuce folds and king
Get
deuce,
life.
yeah. King deuce from the small blind, that is way too tight. We can raise queen deuce there. We can raise jack five. We can raise jack. We should raise jack five and jack four. We can. Yeah, we can raise jack four. We should be raising jack five. King deuce is way too tight. All right. Here we go. First mistake, and not a huge one. So I don't like these people at all. Fold.
Yeah, fold around.
Yeah. Good. Raise, 5-4 suited. And Scott probably has some three betting, but not much. The king 10 suited cannot fold here. Definitely has some raises and probably is mixing. And then that should lead to folds here. What we get is a limp. Oh, thank goodness. Finally.
Oh, and it's a broken stack, so.
Yeah,
So what are you guys doing with 5-4 here? Is this a good overlimp hand?
it's a really
So-
good overlap hand.
Yeah, so I've been attacking a lot of these limps with raises lately, and I think I've been leaking a lot of money doing so.
I like I like attacking limps with raises, but I don't, but the two types of hands that I would do it last with, not that I wouldn't do it at all, are the small pairs and the suited connectors, because they benefit, they do just fine in position with a flop, and they do fine multi-way with a flop.
Agreed.
Yeah, those
I
are the
mean,
hands
they've
you don't
gotten
mind
bought
seeing
up.
multi-way.
Yeah, you don't mind it. And
We could have an interesting situation where we get an ISO for
Well-
5-4 and king 10 decides to three bet bluff, I guess four bet bluff.
I
Yeah.
think before we go on, maybe I should explain my mathematically devised ISO range.
And this one goes into it, by the way, in your ISO range, which I disagree with, and which I agree with, sorry, and that you're about to explain. 5-4 suited can be an ISO here. Go Joey.
Okay, what I teach, I used to coach, so that's why I would say teach, because I told people this. Mathematically, when there's one limper behind you, what you should do is take your position, cut off, and then move back 2 spots. So this would put you in the low jack range.
Under
If
the
you
gun.
look- If we look
Um,
at the low jack range, the top of the range are definite raises. And the bottom of the range are maybe raises depending on this player.
Right.
Since he is new and this is his first limp, I would stick just to the top of the range.
And by top, you mean just this area, just this?
Yeah, eight's up. I mean, because the top half of the range is about 9%.
Okay,
So
So
that's
about
like
half of
pocket
this then,
eights.
right?
That's like pocket eights, ace 10, king queen, king jack suited, king 10 suited, queen jack suited, stuff like that.
yep,
Stick
here's-
to a more linear range. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. But once we know this player limps a lot and we get a better idea of how he plays post flop, that's when you can start expanding to the whole range.
Sure.
Well, do you have an overlipping range here, Joey? Are you gonna
Oh,
fold?
yeah. Yeah, this would probably be an over limping range. Suited aces, small, medium and small pairs and suited connectors are part of over limping ranges.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 8.6 right there. Add the jack 10 at the eights plus. You guys are seeing this, right?
Well,
My
yes.
I'd king
Yep.
queen off too. I would hit king
Okay.
queen off.
Yeah, that's what that's just what this quick and dirty thing grabbed. King, queen off comes in right there at 9.5, not that it matters.
Yeah, I said, yeah, top 9% ish.
Yeah, right there. Okay. Sounds good. And let's see what they do. And by the way,
Yeah.
Joey, I really do like that. I use that all the time. When I'm feeling aggressive, I do it as I just take the low jack range, including its bluffs, and do it.
No, I like that a lot. At the stakes I'm playing, there's a ton of limping, and I used to just VPip like any combo that I would RFI as a raise. And I don't know. There's a lot of combos that I don't think belong in that category. So
Yeah.
I really
I
like
mean,
this.
There's a lot of hands I think that want to see a flop that can make the nuts.
Yeah,
it
So
absolutely.
it's nice to overlay.
It
in this
also
situation.
depends on the limper. If
Sure.
I have the perfect thing, what's that called? A
Tricky
standard
limper?
limper, not a tricky limper.
Right.
Tricky limper is those guys that can limp in aces and kings.
Hmm.
Um, against a straight up limper who
Straightforward, yeah.
plays straightforward post flop, and the players left to act are not likely to 3-bet you. As the situation gets more favorable to you, you can then start using your full cutoff range against a single limper.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. For
So
sure.
it's really a range and it's player dependent on whoever's left to act and the limper where you go from the top half of low jack to your full cutoff range.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
Yep.
Thanks, Joey.
And this guy does the over limp, which seems fine. Let's see if the king 10 suited squeezes. Nope.
Fair.
All right.
Yeah.
And now they are giving a gift to the
Yeah,
big
it's
blind. Absolute
goofy.
gift. This king 9 does not seem like a good candidate here out of position. If you wanted to be aggressive, I think king 10 offsuit would be the bottom. And that's pretty
So I wonder
aggressive.
if our limper here is going to re-raise with
I
this
don't think he's
combo.
I don't think he's getting squeezed. I'm not
So
squeezing.
now, let's see if he goes to like 8 or something ridiculous.
Yep, I get to see the flop. Flop I would not have seen.
Hmm.
We're done with and I'm done with the flop.
Yeah.
Check, check, check. The king bets out. Bets just half pot. That's probably exactly a half pot bet because this replayer doesn't take the rake into into consideration. He bets. It's got the queen of diamonds.
That's a very weak call.
Yeah, I think that if he's heads up, that's different. Multi-way, he doesn't have this kind of MDF responsibility.
I think it's
Yeah.
interesting to see that that the 5-4 is getting direct odds.
Yeah.
And he's got significant implied odds.
Yeah.
Hard to peel here, though.
Does this
No.
call become more
Look,
acceptable because it's a limp pot?
5-4
ace queen?
suited is a clear fold here.
Yes, I know, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's interesting that he's got direct odds and he's got implied odds.
And
He
is
has
that
the
because-
direct odds to call
Is that
How's he
because one of
getting
his
direct
threes is so
odds?
dirty?
because the pot odds are 4-1 and that's translates to 20% equity. And he has 20% equity.
But that, you don't know the hands of the other players.
I'm
No,
just
he's
saying,
just saying- he's
of
just
course
saying
we
it's-
don't. Of course we don't, Joey. I'm just saying, it is interesting that we have direct odds here.
Yeah, we're not playing it. Right. So yeah, this ace queen seems, the bet is not tiny, it's half pot. And he wasn't last to act. This does not seem like a good call to me.
Is there any argument for that being a valid call because it was a limp pot?
No,
Yeah,
Okay.
why do you like it better for the limp pot? What is that?
Oh,
what is
I'm
that?
not saying I necessarily like it better. I was genuinely asking.
Oh, yeah, I don't see I don't see the difference, which doesn't mean there isn't a difference. I just don't see it.
Okay.
in
Yeah.
in a limp, when you get post flop, multi-way poker is played the same whether it was raised and called 3 times or limped 4 times.
Okay, sure.
The
I gotcha.
the same post flop theory still applies.
That's what I thought.
But this is a pure fold or?
Yeah, the ace queen should have been a fold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of thoughts that like, you've got the ace queen here, you go, I defend, I've got an overcard, I have a backdoor straight, I've got a backdoor flush. That's heads up when this guy is bluffing a ton.
Okay.
Okay,
In
sure.
the multi-way pot, his bluff frequency goes way down. Now he is last to act, so that pushes it up a little, but nowhere near as much as if this had been, you know, a limp raise call.
Does it make enough of a difference if it's ace diamond, queen spade? Like, is there enough, like, is it excusable to call with the ace of diamonds there?
No, not in a
He's only
multi-way
40
pot.
He's
The-
only 10,
Okay.
and look at that,
the
he's only 10 to
general-
1 deep.
The general
Yeah,
math
okay.
is, did you know what MDF is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the general math is you're using MDF to find your calling range.
Mhm.
And when this guy bets into 4 players, your MDF goes way down where you only have to play like top pairs and direct draws.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep.
I like asking questions about these spots that are a little less familiar to me, so.
And there's the 3 for his 4-5. Just to make a point. Check. He checks behind.
Should have called.
Yep. Now the king and the ace queen does not turn it into a bluff. And now the king bets and see if he calls with his ace high. The flush didn't come in, but he blocks the flush draw. Let's see. Oh, he bets way too big to get the call from it. I don't know what he's trying to get called by.
Yeah. Silly.
Wonder if you can use small sizing here exploitatively, like a. I never use B33 in this situation, but I wonder if you can.
No,
allowed
I think
to.
so.
I would
Solver's-
use like bet somewhere between bet 50 and bet 75.
Yeah, Matt Affleck's rule of don't bet less than 50 in position is violated by the solver sometimes and is violated by some of the other coaches. It's not yet violated
Oh,
by me.
okay.
It's not yet violated by me because I'm not going to disagree with Matt Affleck.
See, I go for a lot of thin value on rivers, like anywhere between, 10 to 30% pot, depending on
Well, that's
the range interaction.
that's great when you're out of position.
Okay.
In position, if you have a hand that it's that weak where you need to go small to get the value out of it, it's probably not strong enough to reopen the pot.
Yeah.
On
Is
the
that
river.
to prevent to prevent check raises where you're in a spot for like a nightmare call,
Yeah.
which is essentially a bluff
Yeah.
catch?
So
Okay, okay,
you
okay.
have
I
you
gotcha.
have a hand that's probably ahead. You're gonna win quite a bit when you just check it down.
Okay.
But when you bet it, you're not the value. If you can't bet if it's not strong enough to bet a decent amount for value, then you just want to check behind because you don't want to be check raised off of your
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. I understand where you're coming from
value.
completely.
Yeah, And
Appreciate
so
that.
with that, for a while, so Matt Affleck had a general rule
Well,
that was a half pot is the minimum you're allowed to bet in position.
Okay.
And
I've never heard that before. This is
Yeah.
new
Well-
to me.
actually, I do not like to call anything a rule. Nothing is a rule. Everything is a guideline.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
So the solver doesn't break the rule. There are just good exceptions to the guideline.
yes,
That makes sense.
And as much as I studied, I can't enumerate what those exceptions are. So unless I know it's an exception, I'm gonna stick with the guideline.
And
Sure.
that's my current play, is I'm not betting less than half pot in position on the river on any boards in any situation yet.
Okay.
Alright,
Do you guys
we
have the very
But-
small bet to induce, like a 10% with the intention to induce with like a nutted combo?
To
Not
use
in
more often
position.
out of position.
Okay, okay, okay. That, yeah, no, that makes sense. I would use that more out of position.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
and if you were doing it in position, it would be ultra exploitative because you know the guy. You go, he goes nuts when you've seen him go nuts in that situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And then, when you're going ultra exploitative, it's too custom for there to be particular guidelines.
Perfect.
Ace jack raises and takes it. Not enough mistakes on this table, just that one. Ace eight. There's some eight. Is there any ace eight in the cutoff? Yes, there's
Yeah.
there's ace eight in the cutoff if you want it. It's a small amount. Yep. And does he go for it? He goes for it, and it should work. Folds around. Ace nine. The ace nine in the hijack exists. It's about a 50% raise. If this were me, I wouldn't be doing it with this particular combo. Let's see, is this me? Yeah, but this isn't me, so that's fine.
That's hero, right?
Oh, that's you, buddy.
Oh, you shut up. Nobody asked you. All right, here we go. And it's gonna work. Such hand reading skills. All right. And let's see how many hands we got. Only 10 hands in. Okay. Folds around to the queen nine, who should raise.
Queen eight, I think, is got a little sliver.
On the button?
I think so.
All right, good for him. Let's take a look at that sliver. That's a sliver I don't use, but let's take a look at it just to remind ourselves that it exists. Yep, very little sliver.
Yeah, I don't
4%.
do it. I don't raise queen eight, but I know that
Yep.
that's one of
I use
those.
I've
We
got
see
this,
have-
that there.
I have to step away for a minute. I'll be right back.
no problem. I've got this, I do have this jack eight, but I don't have that queen eight.
I'll
I'll
use the
extend it
queen
from
eight if-
Queen nine as my bottom, and I'll extend it to queen eight when the blinds are really tight.
Right. So.
I'll use
he
queen
goes
eight if I'm
for it,
playing
and he
on
goes for it
ACR.
small, And, oh,
I was just
and
gonna
the
say real quick, I'll use
Yeah.
queen eight if I'm playing on ACR and people behind have like a 4% three bet.
Bingo.
that's great. Yeah.
Sure.
And this 6-7 should fold, should not defend. But I do, based on either bad play or based on the just $2 that to a min raise here. Now this is starting to look a little bit more tournamenty.
Yeah, I defend it.
Yeah, and let's see how,
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah.
Check out under your controls. I think
Yeah.
you can change this to show pre-flop with min raise.
yep, let's do,
And I've always been curious about defending min raises from the button. If you go to pre-flop only far left,
pre-flop only far
come
left.
down to the bottom, go down, keep going right there.
Pre-flop only. Look at
Uh,
that. You're a genius.
Yeah, I just discovered this, and
That's good. All right, let's see what that does. Look at it. Oh my gosh, it's a huge thing. That's 6-7 in there. Oh,
Nice.
What are we
look at
looking at?
this. We are looking at we're looking at when he min raised. I never saw this chart before. This is great.
Button min raises, big blind response.
Yeah, big blind response to a
Oh,
min
where
raise.
did you find that?
So we're
Right
folding,
here. Go to post flop, pre-flop only, and now you've got more sizing options.
yeah,
Oh,
they got
wow.
tons of stuff in there.
Yeah, look at that.
yeah, even
Now we can
3x.
see-
Like if you want to see 3x from like low jack or something, that's really neat.
Oh, this is great. We are
Yeah,
gonna
that's
use
awesome.
this all the time.
Should we compare real quick? So we're folding 40% here. So what if we go to 2.5 from button?
You got it. 2.5 from the button. We are folding 60%.
Wow, I didn't know
Wow.
it'd be that
Huge.
much.
That's shocking.
But I mean, it goes
3x.
back to kind of the basic principles of,
70%.
kind of the first principles of poker is that we're
Yeah,
fighting over the blinds.
Look at
Yeah.
that 3x range, Scotty.
Just the impact that a half a big blind makes, though, that's quite surprising to me.
this is looking a lot like the old, this is looking a lot closer to the old poker coaching ranges.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, that is nice. So, 6-7 suited, called perfectly with a deep, deep understanding of bet sizing. All right, and
Yeah, right.
so far it worked out. So far it worked out. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna get bet off this thing. Check, bet, absolute call. No reason to check raise this. That is a call. Hey, I'm not full of great. Now I'm beat. I'm not folding. Check, bet half pot. Pair and a straight draw. I think I can call this.
Again, it's interesting to see you're getting the
Double
the
gutter.
odds to call.
Oh, I'm double gutted. Oh, I can
Yeah.
definitely call double
Yeah.
gutted. Yeah, there we go. And I can lose.
Is it acceptable to check raise that turn at all?
I
With
was
double
wondering
gutter
about leading.
without any sort of suit, spades, I mean. I think leading is actually quite viable.
Yeah, we'll take a look at we'll take a look at the solver. Oh, no, we can't. We don't
Probably
have
not
this,
with-
we don't have post flop for this hand.
Yeah,
we'll
We can
just
look
make it
at
suited.
7-6 suited. Do you
We'll
guys
just
wanna
make
look
it
at that?
suited and make it hearts. Yeah, we can.
I
do it.
could
Probably not
theoretically
with-
punch it into mine if you
Yeah.
wanted.
I'll set it up real quick and you guys go ahead.
Sounds good.
I think with our specific hand, we probably wouldn't lead, but I wonder if our range would be leading
Yeah.
here a
Yep.
decent amount.
Yeah, my
Oh, I think
thought,
so.
yeah, my thought on this hand is that on the turn, even with its draw, it fits in a marginally made bucket. So it is more often going to be played for a call.
I agree
And
with that.
Well,
And he bets a sizing that maybe a 7 needs to call, and
I
Good for
think
him.
that's kind of close though, Scotty. I mean,
say again,
after he double barrels, is
Yeah.
third pair still marginally made?
Third pair and a double gutter.
no,
Well,
no,
I'm-
that's,
I'm
he's
just
saying
talking
maybe
about
it turns it into a pure draw.
Yeah,
And if
does
it's a
it get
pure draw, you can
downgraded?
check
Does
raise.
it get, does the value of the 7 get downgraded after he double barrels?
It does, but the spade draw out there, pushes it up a little bit. Cause it gives him all his spades, and the 8, and the fact that the 8 was a club means that all of his clubs all of his backdoor clubs he bet just picked up equity. So the
Okay,
7 is,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
I would
Yeah.
think that he would be double barreling with unpaired combos enough to justify calling turn.
all his spades, all his clubs. He can. And none of them come in on the river, and that doesn't change anything.
Yeah,
So-
totally fine river call in my opinion.
All right, let's take a look at this one. You ready? You got
Alright.
it set up?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
So how are we looking? So pretty even on equity.
Yeah,
No donks. Dylan had what? Queen 8 off. So yeah, he could do betting here. I guess he's probably betting across his range here, except for the very best ace X. But in game he bet, right?
Yep.
What sizing did he use?
half pot.
So this is kind of like a one and done situation, I guess. He's got the queen of spades. So our 7-6, if we have it, we're gonna pretend he has 7-6
Oh, no,
suited.
I'm sorry, he did not bet half pot. He bet a third pot.
Okay,
He didn't go half pot till the turn when he got something.
notice our check raising goes down. But yeah, we're continuing. Are we continuing with all our sevens. Let's see.
Yep.
real quick.
And it's the same regardless of the suit combo.
Yeah. And these are the
Having
only
the
ones,
back doors allows us to check raise down here.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not folding any pairs yet. So we call.
Then we pick up the evil 8 of clubs,
8 of clubs.
the evilest club in the deck.
I just checked on our dunking range
Mhm.
and we don't have any dunks with the 8 of clubs. It's very minimal.
Okay.
So yeah, here we saw another bet, didn't we?
Yeah, now he bets half.
So, yeah. Yeah, we don't have docking range here.
A 6 or a 5 hitting is a better dunking card
Hmm.
for us.
That makes sense.
Now do we,
Yeah.
now
Like
do we
in
get?
game, I
so
think you'll
now
get
we
away with it a lot, but.
We
Sorry.
basically had 2 donks. We had the ace 6 for the straight draw, for the double gutted straight draw, but nothing else. And the 4-4 for owning it.
So we're supposed to, we've got the combo draw here, which we've got 2 of.
Yep.
We're supposed to check raise pure with this combo. Well, we don't really
Oh, we
have
check
that
raise
yet,
pure when
were-
we've got the flush draw that goes with it.
Wait,
When
we
without
have
the flush
6,
draw, we
7.
don't.
but
and
we
we
don't
don't
have
get-
that. Yeah, we've
right.
got offsuit. I'm just curious.
Yeah, we have the 7-6.
Yeah, not the 6-5.
They classify this as an OESD, even though it's double
Yeah.
gut.
Yeah,
Okay, so he just calls, right?
Yeah, and take a look. Yeah, roll over the 7-6 before you go on. Here. Yeah, we don't check raise it at all unless we've got the backdoor.
backdoor
come up.
clubs.
Yeah,
Yes, so that wasn't a check raise.
Where are his check? So bet,
Mm.
big blind. Where are his check raises come from? So. I guess these are gonna be your flush draws, right?
Right.
Combo draw, yeah, a lot of. So I guess the queen 6 here. Yeah, the combo draw. Stuff like that.
Hmm.
Call,
The river is
10 of
another 10.
hearts.
Do we have any dunks on the 10 of hearts?
this is where I thought we would have a lot of donks.
He
Yeah,
does.
but
Mhm.
not with our hand.
Yeah, not with our hand.
We have
Top-
bluff donks
the-
and our value donks are 10s.
Top pair,
I see those donks all the time at the table on those types of boards.
yeah,
or
but
those
top
types of
pair,
rivers.
top pair pairing is usually a good time for us to dunk too.
Yeah,
So if we're donking, let's just look real quick where our donk bluffs are coming from. So down here, if like all this really low stuff that missed,
Yeah, it looks like a lot of club or spades that missed.
that has no showdown, I mean, I might find it here. Like 5-2, 5-3. So. If we do
What's the-
donk,
What
yeah,
is,
what's the donks in the middle? What are the donks in the middle? Those guys there.
here,
Pocket pairs below some
That-
10s.
That looks like it could be the thin value range.
yeah, this is thin value. Well, we'll look at equity. Well, 73%, that's pretty high. So this is like. Yeah, this
There's
is,
a
these
lot
are
of
his
tens in
tens.
that. There's a lot
Yeah.
of tens in there.
It's not giving it that high. It's giving you like 70% equity here.
this is all using 20% sizing, 20% pot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
What
all
is,
the donks.
what is the purpose of the no made hand combos using a 20% donk sizing here?
Because
match-
the
well,
value
your
using it.
value is always gonna match your bluffs.
You always have to have hands that bluff at the same value you would bet your
It's
value.
just,
hands with.
just for balance, okay. Just
Yeah.
seems so weird to be leading 20% pot out of position with a total bluff.
Yeah.
I know
you've
you
got a
have
good
to do
point.
it at some frequency, but it's weird.
And our straights are always supposed to mimic this value.
Are you
guess
guys
what's
doing
that-
this in game as often as you see it on the chart here on GTO Wiz?
No, because nobody's
Okay.
good enough to remember every chart we see on GTO Wizard.
Okay, perfect.
We
That's all I want to hear.
we try, but to actually memorize every node you ever see is impossible.
I donk it. Perfect river frequency. Come on.
Right. And in terms of the size, though, no, I don't find this donking size because I don't have the confidence to believe that it's gonna work for the folds.
Yeah, against our opponents, any made hand is calling 9 out of 10 times, you know, like
Well, that's
Well,
the next
any
question,
made
right?
it-
So,
Any made hand should call.
sure.
so
then-
if we,
But if you're bluffing a 5-high missed flush draw, you want the 9-high missed flush draws to fold.
Yeah,
so
Not
what's
check
his
behind.
MDF here?
yeah, true.
So yeah, he only folds 20%, but we do fold pure air.
Right. Oh, yes, yeah, so take a look at one of the bigger size bets that we do. When we bet the 35, that's where we're gonna have bluffs.
Alright.
that-
Okay,
that-
well, right now I'm looking at I'm just curious where his threshold to fold is to this tiny bet, and it's gonna be like 14%, 15% equity. So, sorry, you wanted to see what happened if we check? The big blind checks and what sizing for the imposition player?
He went half pot.
So we
It
begin
looks
to
like it-
fold.
It looks
We-
like
we-
it's indifferent,
We call most of our sevens, call most of the 6, 7.
Hmm.
but it's
Okay.
indifferent, so against population, you can
Yeah,
fold
I
it.
could fold, I could fold.
Sure.
Kicker, it looks like it really likes to have an ace here.
Yeah.
So maybe a good kicker it calls, and then down here. But yeah, it mixes. We could probably, Joey's probably right, could probably overfold here.
And we fold the queen 100% of the time, which is really funny. The queen is
What's where a
some,
lot of his bluffs are coming
Yeah.
from.
the queen is some terrible blocker there.
Anything else you guys wanna see?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
There we go. Okay. So. And we lose that.
I don't necessarily know if he should have bet the queen 8 on the river there. Did we look at that? Do you still have that up, Larry?
I do not, sorry.
Okay. We did. Alright. Fold. Raise, fold, ace 10 should fold here. We'll see what he does. Ace 9 should fold here. See what he does. King 8 suited should not fold. But he does. And this is way this is way out of GTO approved. This
What's
king
the
8
lowest suited king that defends?
let's see, this is against the low jack.
I'm gonna
King-
guess king 9, king
King
10.
5. Oh, king 5.
Yeah.
Take a look at it. Oh, wrong one.
I was thinking like king 4 probably, but
Against the low jack, no, the king 4 is
Sorry.
gone by then, I think.
okay,
mean,
okay.
I mean, I could be wrong. I think I could be wrong. on
Hey,
that.
you know better
Suited?
than I do. That's why I ask.
Find out. Let's find out.
Well, what was he suited?
Low jack
Yeah.
raise. Oh, this is a 3. These are the 3 sizes. We don't want this. Change this to, that was a 2.5.
I can't remember actually, to be honest.
See what its size was. That was a standard 2.5. Okay, so standard 2.5. Low jack raises, big blind defense. So this is an interesting is that we only have the raises here. This is
Okay.
not the range that I play here.
What-
Yeah, that's kind of weird against the low jack.
Yeah.
What did
I understand why
have?
solver does it, but still.
what did the player in our hand have?
King 8 or something.
King 8 hearts.
Yeah, like
King
way,
eight, oh, king eight, yeah, it's way up
yeah,
there.
way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is not the range I'm playing. I'm playing just, I don't know why it changes so much in a 9 max, but 100
Like
G.
my high
uh,
card, low card raises heavily come from suited wheel aces in that spot.
Yeah, I'm doing this, the low jack raise, big blind here. Yeah, very different. That's extremely different.
Yeah, much like population, we're probably all under 3-betting here.
Yeah.
Not
But I've
3-betting.
got
Clearly,
I have these 3 bets here, but I didn't have a 3-bet or fold from this one, and I didn't have a 3x 3-bet. I mean, you know, a
I
75%
don't know,
plus.
why would nine max, you're running the same node,
I
low
know.
jack versus big blind, why would nine max have different results than six max?
That's why I was surprised when I saw it, because I've learned the 9 max range here. Not the 6 max range.
Is it,
Bunching effect.
is it card bunching effect? So we can assume that the 3 players in front folded 4 cards, which removes
yeah, it's just
a
more
certain
likely that
portion of the
those,
deck. So
yeah,
there's this-
exactly. That makes sense
The
to me.
concept of card bunching.
Yeah, but that doesn't,
It doesn't seem like enough to really.
yeah, you got six
account for
random
this.
cards, you got 6 random cards removed from the deck.
But they're not
Yeah.
random.
Okay.
We have 6 cards removed from the deck that are less rich in aces than random would be.
No, not necessarily. They could have ace five.
They
Well,
could, but
No,
ace
they
two.
could, but they
Yeah.
could. But if you look at, if you take all the hands that they would raise, and you remove that from the possibilities, you'll find that that set of cards is richer in aces than a random set.
Yeah, like bottom 15%,
but-
you're not gonna see in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Not by much, though. Not
Not by
enough to
much.
actually make a statistically a difference to change the ranges that much.
Right, I agree. That looks very strange to me. There is a
Okay.
card removal effect, but it looks very strange. Wait a minute. Now it's giving
mean-
us this range. Well, hold on. Something was wrong. Oh, I know what it was. Were we still on 3? We were on some,
We were on 2.5.
we were on 2.5, but now look at
Yeah.
it now. Something was different.
I think
We
maybe
were on
in the
9 max.
pre-flop only.
Say what?
Were you in the pre-flop only ranges? As
Let's
opposed
take a
to
look
the
at what it is. Maybe it's,
post-flop and
maybe it did some crazy.
pre-flop,
yeah.
NL50.
That's
The
everything.
pre-flop only, NL50.
Yep, that's the difference.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they
Look at
just saw, I mean, they probably, there were some differences probably.
They
in
made
the way
some
they solved it.
assumptions that we don't know the differences of.
Yeah,
You don't
that
know what
shouldn't
they-
make a difference. What would be, that should make no difference.
Yeah,
Pre-flop,
They
pre-flop
made
should be
assumptions
solved.
that they
Well,
didn't tell
look,
us.
Hey.
there's no, there's no rake consideration here, maybe? So where's rake? So I don't see any rake consideration. NL50 there is rake
I know
consideration.
50 rake. All right,
Yeah. So it's just a different solve.
yeah,
But I will say that that does somewhat shake confidence in the pre-flop ranges, doesn't it?
mhm. There is no such thing as GTO,
not, they're still mathematically derived.
yes, but with
They
some,
just put, there were just different assumptions put into the solution.
and we don't know what those assumptions are. But
Like-
either way, king 8 suited is a call. Is a
Look at the
play.
ranges between GTO Wiz and PC.com.
Yeah.
You can't say either range is wrong. It's
Yeah.
just they were developed with different mindsets.
Yes,
Well, they all use counterfactual regret minimization to do it, but you know what? They use tricks to make it go faster. Otherwise, you'd have to work out all hands to
Mhm.
understand. So they use some kind of some shortcuts on the
Yeah.
back end to simulate post flop. And that might be part of it.
all right. Jack's raise and take it Jack 10 against the low jack should be a fold.
Sorry, is Jack 10 supposed to be a call here if everybody else folds against the low jack RFI? I would
I
think
wouldn't,
so.
I wouldn't against low jack. Jack ten is way too wide.
Really?
You-
Okay.
You're
No,
folding
maybe-
jack
no, we
ten.
got a min raise though. This could change.
I know, that's gonna change it. We're gonna look that up.
Okay. It seems too
Okay.
good to fold to me, but
Let me show you this range, just because this is worth seeing. So for a regular size, here's your under the gun, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's who we've got here. Yep, we got under the gun and there you are. The big blind.
okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
there is a sliver of jack ten, but you don't need to find it. Cause look at this jack ten, queen ten. I'm just gonna fold all of this
Okay.
here.
Yeah, makes
And
sense.
I'm also,
Well-
yeah, I'm calling the king jack half the time. That's how I've
Scotty,
simplified.
do me a favor, show the
Okay.
EV.
Okay.
Don't
Oh,
change that.
sorry. Yep, I hit the wrong button. You got it. That I need it there. That's what I wanted. Strategy plus EV.
They're all
Okay, yeah.
fairly close. So these aren't. Again, pre-flop charts are guidelines, they're not rules. If the pre-flop raiser is a weak player and you have an equity advantage over him, you can add these hands because they're only a mild negative EV.
Mhm.
If you're good enough to make up that mild negative versus that player, then you can play these hands.
Okay.
So Matt Affleck had an interesting session a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about, essentially it was like live poker adjustments or live poker exploits or whatever. And he talked about how when he is playing live, his range is significantly wider than any kind of GTO pre-flop charts. And it's because he feels strongly he has a post-flop advantage. And he understands the value of his hand and how to play a hand better than his opponents. And so he said he will open very wide until someone behind him begins to tell him he can't do it anymore. Start squeezing and three betting.
That's what my coach taught me too, and it's just like largely in a tournament setting. And that's why this adjustment is so jarring, because I was instructed to defend up to 100% of big blind if
Yeah.
I am capable of playing post flop, outplaying my opponent post flop.
That's also mainly a tournament thing too.
Yeah, I'm realizing this here. So I've
So the
last
thing
few
that
weeks have been
changes
quite
that
the
in-
transition.
The thing that changes it in cash is the rake, right? Because
Sure.
rake is going to be your tax. And so
Yep.
that just really limits your
Rake
your
and the,
ability to
and the
play
lack of,
hands.
and the lack of antes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the rake is more
it-
impactful than the anti factor too. So
In
But-
tournament, you have a bonus of playing because there's antes added to the pot. In cash, you have a negative with rake coming out of the pot.
okay. I've just been a nit for my whole life, and I realize how nitty I have to be in cash games. It's like it kind of goes against what I've been.
Trying to break yourself free from.
Yeah,
But look at how-
yeah.
Look at how this range just changed. This is low jack opening. Big blind defense when that low jack opens to just 2. Look at how dramatic this change is.
Yeah,
Oh my.
yeah, that's crazy.
See if this guy knows that. Nope.
That's what
It's
we
gonna
saw
be-
on the other hand with 2.5x versus 3x also. Or
Yeah.
sorry, 2.5x
2x,
versus
yeah.
2x.
Yeah,
Hey, Scotty.
exactly.
Just for investigative purposes, change it to GTO open,
Okay.
because I think under the gun, natural GTO open is 2 anyway, and just curious, you
See
know,
how
how
they do
it
that. Yep.
conflicted before, if this
Yeah,
is a
this-
weird
the other input.
situation.
You got it. Okay, so here we go. This is GTO. And it's very similar range.
Looks similar, yeah. Doesn't look
Yeah.
like it changed like the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Good thing I don't have a hand.
I do have a question regarding
raise,
RFI
full-
sizing.
full-
I was gonna save for later, but we were on the topic.
Yep.
Like, so my RFI sizing in game is always three big blinds.
That's fine.
3.1. Actually, that's not a huge difference to 2.5 or
It changes,
like-
it changes a little bit the range you can play and it changes what their defense should be. And Most people probably, I don't think anybody knows the difference between those two.
Okay,
But-
like I understand
okay.
how it changes their defense,
Yeah.
but like there's not a strong argument against using 3 big blinds for an RFI versus 2.5.
Nope.
Okay,
So-
perfect.
One of the coaches here, Evan Jarvis, if you do any of his quizzes on the site, he just says it doesn't matter, 2.5 or 3.
Okay, perfect.
And Jonathan Little's, class taught, the original, cash game master class taught, 3. The original.
Oh,
chart
okay.
3. The new charts are 2.5 because it's becoming the style. Brad Owen, does 2.5 and teaches 2.5.
Okay.
I'm doing the 2.5 myself
Yeah.
because the wizard uses it for its solutions and we study based on the wizard. So it
Gotcha.
I
gives,
use 2.5 too.
See, I'm playing NL10 and I don't mind playing slightly larger, slightly inflated pots just because of the like low stakes nature. So
Sure.
I don't really mind blowing up the pot a little bit more.
and you're not standing out. A lot of your opponents are playing 3.
Correct.
You know.
Most of them are actually open limping, but
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
But also just recognize that if you're opening for 3 instead of 2.5, your range should shrink by a little bit.
Yes.
yes, 100%.
Like you
That all
don't have,
makes perfect sense.
you don't have the ace 5 and you don't have the ace 5 in the hijack.
Okay.
You don't have the ace 9, I think, in the cutoff, but you do, maybe you have the ace 9, but you don't have any of the ace 8.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So here he goes to 3 and I'm gonna bet that this guy varies his bet size based
Like-
on his.
I'm just looking real quick.
Yeah.
It 2.5 and 6 max. Under the gun has 17.4% of the range. If you
Mhm.
make it 3x, now he has 15.9%.
Right.
Okay. Sure. Makes sense.
Yep.
Didn't
Nope.
mean to derail too much there.
Nope, no
Sorry about
problem.
that.
There's his aces. That's a good one. All right. Fold around to the ace 6 on the button. Ace 6 should raise and should take it. Jack Queen
I
offsuit.
love that 3-bet.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been 3-betting this lately.
He's
Hate
gonna
the
get that
size.
3-bet number up. It's too small for out of position, but it's gonna work.
Yeah, I go 10 or 11 here.
Yep, that's a good size there. And I believe that this queen jack is not solver approved, but
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
oh, the offsuit is?
Yep.
Yes.
Can we look at the calls versus folds versus raises for this queen jack?
Sure, great.
Curious.
All right, let's take a look at this.
Because I have a
I've got-
pretty healthy mix.
Yeah, I've got no calls in the small blind. They don't exist for me. Queen jack,
Okay.
totally approved.
Okay.
Look at it right there. Look at that lovely mixing with folds, but I don't
Yep.
have any of these calls.
I'll only call if it makes sense based on my opponent.
Hmm, hmm.
Exploitative call. That's the
Sure.
only time I'll do it.
All right. Here we go. Here's some action. Raise 3-bet and the jacks mostly should not 4-bet. They can, they're late enough.
Mm,
I think
I'm
late
going-
versus late, you can 4-bet it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said can.
I'll 4-bet this
I think
most
it's
of the
mostly a
time.
call. You think it's mostly 4?
Yeah,
All right. He
maybe
does.
maybe even jam. I don't know.
But his sizing
does.
is too big. He should have been
Yeah.
around 15.
And now the ace queen fold. Oh my gosh. Well, that was an overplayed ace queen. And it did not work. Let's see if it works. Yep, it worked.
Feel bad for jacks there.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that there. So this is cutoff raise, but cutoff and button, right?
I'll take all of those lines in tournaments, but I mean, I
Yeah.
see the issues here in cash game.
Cutoff raise. Small blind with his ace queen, 3-bets.
No, it's cut off button.
Sorry, cutoff
button.
raises. Button with his ace queen. 3-bets, sure, no problem. Back to the cutoff is jacks. Always 4-bet.
Wow.
Yeah, late versus late, you get
Yeah.
wider ranges.
I did not see that coming. And to 21, and what he actually did was,
Went to
It's pure
2.
jam.
22.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. So Wizard didn't hate his sizing at all. And now button with the ace queen.
I mean, I am inclined to go a lot smaller with ace, ace or king, king. I kind of like the larger sizing with jack, jack in that spot.
It's close enough.
'Kay.
I think. And the ace queen is very aggressive. And rewarded. There we go. And Jack's
Wait,
reload.
is Jack supposed to call it off the shove?
Sure. I'm sure it does.
I would think so.
It seems borderline.
No.
Yeah, tens is the
Tens are
border.
bottom. Okay.
Yeah, and even tens don't fold. They're on the cusp.
I look at the value of tens in game, I would fold that.
Yeah, I mean, the value of tens and
Oh.
nines is the same. It just,
You can also fold jacks too in game,
because on
it's
your
I
less
would
check,
think so.
less than 10% of aces.
yeah,
Oh yeah, last week was a real wake up call when I realized what how tight these ranges are. I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
Guys
I
will be
could
proud of
jump
me.
on
I've been
Jack
just
as well.
calling 3-bets with my queens and outplaying them post over this past
Yeah.
week. I've been doing well.
this jump between jacks and queens is dramatic as heck.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Ace three suited should raise and queen six suited should defend, let's see, against the low
That's
jack.
close.
Queen
It's
six is
close.
close. No,
I'm
against the
going
low jack, this
fold.
is a fold. Yeah, this is like queen nine, I believe.
Player dependent.
Let me see. Just picturing it. Against the low jack, maybe this is queen 10. I'm sorry, no, queen nine. Yeah, queen nine. That's what I think. Okay. But against this, because the ace three didn't open and this guy goes to two, this queen six is an easy
Cut off
play.
RFI, min raise, yeah.
But F, yeah, queen six, mostly call. All right.
Maybe even some slivers of 3-betting maybe?
I would be poking around stats, seeing if I could justify a 3-bet. I think mostly it would be a call though.
Going-
But I would
we're-
certainly be looking towards a 3-bet.
Let's see. This was specifically cut off and in using a smaller size.
With the smaller size,
right.
it'll 3-bet less.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to pre-flop only so we can get to a pure two. Opening size two. All right, here we go. And this is the cutoff raise. And the big blind with his queen six. There's your 3-betting with the queen six against
Oh
that.
wow.
And when he goes to the normal size and calling all queen six and calling every suited queen is in
Mm.
for a two.
Mhm.
For 2.5, this is not gonna be the case. Boy, the difference between 2 and 3, 2 and 2.5 is so much more dramatic than I thought.
Yeah, no, it's alarming. Really
Yeah.
is.
There we go. Now
Pure.
Now it's a pure
Almost.
3-bet.
Yeah.
It's a pure 3-bet. But these are folds. And again, this is 100% not the range. So we're gonna change this from not pre-flop only, and it's gonna change dramatically. There's a major assumption here. I know this range.
I think you're right.
Look at this. That's the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
If under the gun open, what's the bottom on our suited queens?
from the under the gun, I thought it jumps to around the queen nine-ish.
My guess was queen 8.
Oh, yeah, there it is with
Queen
a
Queen
with
six
a
is in
sliver of
there.
queens, with there's a
Oh,
tooth of queen six.
Yeah, it's got
But
that
it's really queen
queen
eight.
7 in between that's
Queen,
like,
no, see, I look at this and I play down the queen five suited.
Okay. Yep, I don't. You have more confidence in being better than him that I do.
Sorry, what site are these hand histories from? Is this Ignition?
This is all ignition.
Okay, okay.
And I mean, this is such a dramatic difference between the assumptions that went into the pre-flop only. I mean, this is
Yeah,
This-
I'm not really liking these charts on this one that much.
You mean the pre-flop only charts?
Yeah,
These ones, yeah, this seems. Yeah, here's your under the gun with a pre-flop only. Yeah, just this dramatic change here. That,
Oh, you know what I noticed, Scotty? Look at the three bets are to 8 instead of 7.5. Well, I guess that's just on the button. That's weird.
that's from the big one. No, yeah, that's our. Yeah, that's weird.
Like raise under the gun,
Yeah. Raise under the gun, what is this?
and all those three
They're
bets in
eights.
position are to 8 instead of 7.5.
Right, yeah, there's a lot of changes here, but that also changes things. If you're gonna do it to 8, but why you're doing it more often? Right,
That
like,
must play into why these are different in the pre-flop only.
yeah. Yep. Alright, let's go back to what we are used to. Here, which brings us to 7.5. And those assumptions, so. We go fold. Cutoff, but it's the cutoff that raises and the big blind. Here with his queen 6. Can call or raise freely. And I would have raised that one. And called the different combo. Alright, here we go. Check, bet. Yeah, now this is one where I guess you can call. You got a backdoor flush, got an over to the second card, you've got a backdoor straight. Check.
Do you think in position gets big sizes here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think there's two things going for him. He's got open ender. And this board is good for him.
This board is good for him, and there's no lockup to equity on this board. This is a good board to bet bigger, we think.
Yeah. I would
We're gonna
be
look at that
75 this
real
board.
quick. Yeah, we're gonna check that
Alright.
out. Just that. We
it,
don't.
it might be a bet big, but everybody is missing one important value to being able to bet big. There obviously is range advantage and nut advantage to be able to bet big. But the third factor is that the big blind must have range connectivity. And I think with the Jack 9, he does have the connectivity.
So the
I
argument is
mean,
that
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just, you use 2 factors to get to the conclusion where it should really be 3 factors.
so let's talk about the third factor a little bit. So is the argument that big blind has some interaction with board to drive big betting is that we want to deny equity?
No, that they have,
To get, you wanna be able to
You
get
don't wanna
value
bet-
from your
you
value.
don't wanna bet big on a board where the big blind can have nothing that can really call that big bet.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I
then
have
your
some sort
value your value hands are not getting the value they need or want.
Yeah, I have
And
some
stuff-
sort of a flow chart here from one of the Jonathan Little books that shows you the metrics for betting large versus small, nut advantage, range connectivity, and range advantage. I can
Right.
post that somewhere if you're interested.
You can upload it to chat.
Like just general chat?
Yeah. you put it
No,
right there.
there's chat and Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Command
We want to
Shift
look
A.
at if there's
Wait a
big bets
second
on
here.
this.
Just reminded me of this.
And it's really from Jonathan Little that I learned that the 3 factors instead of 2.
And the reason to remember for the range, a reason for the range connectivity is your value your value is what decides your sizing, and then your bluffs ride along with it. So value leads bluffs. And so you look at this hand, you go, I've got all this value, what size, I need to get called sometimes.
Yeah.
And then when you have that kind of value that you can do it, you now can bluff more because you're betting bigger.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see the
Yeah, we're gonna see
flop
the
action?
sizing, and then we're also gonna see that this queen 6 should not be folding to that small bet, I hope.
But that
Right.
chart is, he also uses the same chart in the cash game masterclass.
Oh, okay. I haven't
And-
seen that.
Yeah.
And the tournament masterclass.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
here we
is-
go.
Okay. Figured you guys have seen it just in case you hadn't.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's good to bring stuff. I appreciate it.
Yep, that's the one.
So this board, first question is range interactivity. Yeah, cutoff just has a massive, not a range advantage and not
Right.
advantage here.
Cutoff just loves this.
Yeah, this is just cutoff's board.
Yeah.
So we are gonna get, let's see. So where do our big bets come from?
You click,
That's not
you
what I
click
wanted to
check.
do.
Yeah, you wanna
Yeah,
click the
check
check.
there, and then don't touch anything there.
Okay, thank
So-
you. So, yeah, so we get big bets across our entire range. Where are they coming from?
We
So
get over bets.
our biggest bets are coming from across the entire region. As we expected. If we were to look at this,
That's how good this thing is.
yeah, just across the entire region, right? Which we
Yeah.
see over and
Well-
over again on flop.
In between 60 and 70. If you go back to that, you see in between 60 and 70, the big bets go way down. Like in that area right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. These are like our marginal
Second
maidens.
pair doesn't wanna bet big.
Our kings, our second pair, our
King.
jacks.
Big
Uh,
king.
lots of jacks, lots of second pairs. It's a good
Yeah,
point.
so second pairs want to keep it small and everything else across the range wants to mix in some large bets.
Yeah, good point.
And 10-8 and the 10-8 draw can do any of them.
Yeah, so the 10-8 is interesting. We've got a number of hands that can do whatever they want.
And very evenly spaced.
It's an
I
interesting
have
board.
a question regarding the concept of overbets.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I know I wasn't overbetting enough turns before, but okay, regardless of what street the overbet comes in, is that largely just a function of either 2E or 3E metric where you want to be sizing geometrically to get all of the money in? Like, are basically all overbets a function of geometric sizing theory?
No, sometimes they are, but sometimes the stacks are too deep that even an overbet is not going to be geometric.
Okay, what would be the purpose behind an overbet in that instance if it wasn't aiming to geometrically
here?
size?
Alright, so. What do we got almost 20 to 1.
Sorry if this is rudimentary and I should know it already, but I don't.
I don't,
I don't either, so the heuristics behind overbetting would be good.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
don't think this bet is large enough to be geo. I
Okay.
would think a geo sizing bet would have to be, like the bet is 6.4 in this. But I would think with the stacks, it would have to be closer to 10,
Okay.
So, you know, that's a good
almost
question. And I'm
200%
not,
pot.
I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer the question as to what are the heuristics as to why we have overbets here. But a lot of our betting pattern is driven by our range equity and nut equity.
Mhm.
Well,
And we do have a clear range equity advantage on this
Look-
board by a massive amount. Yeah.
Larry, look at the equity buckets.
And okay, and we've got a massive, not a massive, but we do have the nut advantage as well.
Okay.
Alright,
So here's
in
the
the
equity
equity
buckets.
buckets. You see where he still has 30% or more or good hands or better. And then 25% of weak hands that can possibly call.
Mhm.
On some of the ones where we have range advantage and nut advantage, but we have small bets. They'll have like less than 20% in the top two. Combined in the top two buckets.
And sorry, that's when we have small bets, you said?
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. All right. I like it.
because they have very little that they're still able to call a big bet with.
So let's
No,
just
that makes
compare it
perfect
with an
sense.
ace, king, 2. See what happens. Let's make this actually ace, king 2, just to go to the extreme here. Now, how does this So yeah, so now we have a more extreme range advantage across.
Yeah, but he
Mhm.
still
And then-
has connectivity.
Who's he in this case? The big blind?
Yes. Alexa, stop the time.
Notice now we only have big bets on this one. Let's give it. Okay. Like an 8, 7. Nope. And yeah, we've got lots of big bets here.
Okay.
Now,
Try looking at a board like queen 5-5. We should have range advantage and nut advantage. But the big blind won't have that many. Won't have that many hands that connect with the board.
do we really have the nut advantage here? Doesn't he have more fives than us?
It's about.
Right.
If you go from 85% and up, we do have a little bit of a nut advantage.
I mean, we can take it to the extreme here and look at ag reports real quick. So we can look at ag reports. You guys want to go there?
Sure.
But do you have ag reports for this?
Limited. So, all right, so these are ag reports on this board. So let's, this is button, big blind call. There's something wrong with this. This isn't what I want to see. Button raise, big blind call. Check, button. No, this is just something is not right with this ag report.
Did you do the big blind check?
Yeah, maybe we have to go back here.
I'm getting food for my son right now. If you want to hang on, I can run it on mine.
Oh, strategy big blind. Oh, sorry. Here it is. Here we go. So this is the aggregate of all flops, right? So
Yeah.
all flops. And the question is big bet, small bet. So let's, so we're gonna filter this just so we see.
Was it big bets or was
overbet.
it overbets? I think it was overbets was the,
And so what boards are going to give us the most overbets?
there we go.
So here we are. So these boards are high check with our range, with all our hands, and then big bet.
Okay.
It's usually ace Broadway.
So yeah, ace Broadway, especially, I mean, ace Broadway, ace king or ace queen rainbow are our
Mhm.
biggest high frequency bets. High frequency big bet boards.
That's logical. In my
Yeah.
opinion.
So now with the board that he had, which was the ace jack nine
Ace
board,
jack 9. Rainbow, I think.
Yeah. the ace jack nine rainbow. Let's see what
Um,
specifically what side the 10-8 can.
Go to
any
the
side-
very bottom, Larry,
Bottom of what?
of the graph. You see,
You wanna see the highest check boards?
no. Go, we're trying to get the ace jack 9. Let me show you how to
Well,
do that.
I can filter for it, dude. I can go highest, jack, 9.
I know, but there was a quicker way.
Okay, well,
I was trying to show you the quick way.
so there we go. So there's an ace jack 9. And we can see that we still get big bets on
Yeah,
when it's
ace jack-
rainbow.
Ace jack nine is still a good one. The big bets, once you hit ace jack 10, it's a hand, it's got locked up equity now, but it's locked up equity that we like. So let's see, did the big bets stay on ace jack 10? No, they go away. That's it. They have very
Hey.
few.
Hey
They
guys,
go
what's up?
away because
Hey.
a straight flopped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying that's what I meant
Locked
by
up
locked up
equity.
equity.
Alright,
Can we please see what's going? Sorry to interrupt. Can we please see what's going on with the king there? I heard the big blind and the king kind of I'm not sure if against the button. Oh no, we
Oh, that's
are the button.
interesting.
Excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, does anybody know about that? Like the
Like king
high
instead of an ace
boards?
for the high card? I don't, but
Yeah,
I'm curious to see.
Well, certainly the ace king is a very big, big bet board for us, provided that there isn't a straight available. Now, as king, queen, and king jack like that,
Right. Yeah.
jack,
That's
still straight
That was
available.
a pretty significant
It's still
change.
straight available. The nine's got to go to an 8.
Oh,
It's still locked up.
yeah.
There we go. Now we got it.
oh,
And the big bets come in.
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a good spot to hit in the trainer. I think that's what I'll be doing tonight.
Okay.
Okay, I pass it back to the boss.
All right. So no, we wanted to take a look at this because I believe that that his queen, the queen 6 needed to call this small bet, this 140.
Okay, okay.
So
Alright,
the flop is
so,
ace of diamonds, jack of clubs, 9 of spades.
strategy, button raise, big blind calls,
Cutoff raise.
so,
And the cutoff raise is $2, but I don't think we care about that right now.
No.
Yeah.
We can't check that post flop anyhow.
So we don't care.
ace, jack, 9 rainbow.
Ace jack 9 rainbow. And now
Big bet.
his 10-8 can go any size it wants, but he goes 33.
And what did Villain have? Villain had queen 6 suited.
6 of spades.
That's a
Yeah.
fold.
Oh, okay. Even against small sizing. All right. I'm wrong. I thought we had to continue with the 2 backdoors. And he does it right. Good for him.
Alright,
The problem
anything
with
else?
the 2 backdoors there is if he.
Yeah.
The straight backdoors
Mhm.
are very. Unless it comes just 10 and then 8.
Are there reverse implied odds here? There's
Yeah.
there's reverse implied odds.
Yeah. And they're so visible. He's got to get a 4-liner to hit it. So it's hard to get money. There is that. Mhm. Fold, 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 fold. Fold, raise, fold, defend, and defend by 3-betting it. Good. And fold.
Is that a pure 3-bet?
It's a very high frequency 3-bet from the ace
Like
queen suit.
90% plus sort of thing?
Let's see.
It's, it's pure
Okay.
for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
doing
well,
it
same.
Well, no,
100%.
no, actually against
against hijack.
hijack, there might be some ace queen suited, ace jack suited, and ace 10 suited might mix some calls in the solver.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, look at his VPIP too. I don't know what
Yes, hijack,
sample that is over, but
Against hijack, I'm doing it 75% of the time. According to in reality, I'm doing it 100%, but I'm learning it at 75%.
Mhm,
And,
mhm.
and let's see, and the solver says,
I know I have some specific opponents where I will just call,
Yeah.
but that's very exploitative.
here we go. Yep, there's the number.
Awesome.
doing
Okay,
25.
cool.
All right.
Makes
And
perfect sense.
And the king queen folds. There we go.
I think it's always better to 3-bet than to call.
Oh, I agree. No question.
That's an unnecessary balance at our stakes. King ten is an optional open from the low jack.
Yep.
I
Depends on the table.
I would be doing it on this hand.
I
Um,
default to opening, but if it's a tough table, I will fold it.
Yep, I expect he's gonna fold it. Yep, and now it just folds to the queen. Ace five
Ace
suited
five
should,
should open.
and queens should three bet him.
I wanted
And-
king ten to
No,
open so
we're
we
gonna-
could see the ace five three betting.
Oh,
There's
this is
the
gonna be
limp.
interesting.
No,
There's the
I
raise.
would more love to see the ace five suited four bet after the three bet.
Oh
Right.
yeah, dude.
Let's
I'm
see
all
if he
for that.
finds the four bet. No, he doesn't find the bluff.
Nope, nope, he is not playing cute. He is
If
just
Wait, he-
limped-
Sorry,
if
he
limped
open
in with
limped?
it.
the open limp.
Yeah,
and
if he open
Okay.
limped, he's not three betting.
No, that was not gonna be a limp. That was not gonna be a limp raise that to
No.
represent aces that he blocks the other guy from having. Alright. Out of position, and just bets big, just takes it. He didn't wanna mess with it. Okay, here we go. Fold, ace, threes can raise there. They don't have to. And if they do, the king eight suited needs to defend. He does, and he does.
Pretty standard.
And if there's any betting here, it should be small.
And they're both hating this in a way.
Yeah. Exactly. The threes hate it more. Let's see if he just takes it. Nope. Gets a little stubborn. And the threes are gonna shut down now. They are not bluffing this. There we go. And the eight on the four liner. No reason to turn the eight into a bluff.
I agree.
It does. That's gonna work.
The three should.
There's no point in betting here. Like he should just check, and if threes
The three should
bet,
have
he should have
bluffed
just
there.
called, right?
Should have
What
bluffed
about
it.
probably.
what about a blocker sizing? In the big blind on the river?
I think that's viable. This sizing that he
Blocking
used is
third-
ridiculous. I
blocking
don't like
third
his at
pair.
all.
Blocking third pair on a four liner with a flush already in. It's just a bluff then.
Well. Yeah, I'm just asking the question if it makes sense.
I
or
don't
not.
know. I don't mind the
Yeah.
10% sizing because it's gonna get a call from a lot of
No.
these sort of
I
low
don't-
pair combos, and you'll
I
get the
think this hand
showdown.
is, I think this hand is too weak for a blocker bet.
Okay.
I-
Yeah.
I do agree, but I think it is acceptable. Like,
Yeah, for me here. If you bet this, you're betting it as a bluff and your blockers, you don't have any good blockers here particularly.
yeah,
Block,
you know what? Holding the
eight.
king of diamonds here is kind of a pain in the ass for that
Yeah.
blocker line. Yeah,
I
okay,
mean-
no, I
I
see
mean,
what
you
you're saying.
it's a four liner and you have to, if you're betting your eights, you're hoping you get called by a pair of sevens or a pair of sixes.
Yeah.
Specifically under pairs, I'd be targeting like twos through fives in that spot along with the 7x and the 6x. But no,
you
I
gotta target-
retract my.
But on
I
a
hear what
four
you're saying.
liner, are those hands gonna call you even against a weak fish?
Against a 10% sizing, 10% pot, I think they will. A lot of the time, bad players will call.
I
And there's a
think,
lot of
I think
them.
you might be inviting, I think you might be inducing what you don't want to induce.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm not
So-
I'm not advocating a majority blocker
Yeah.
bet at all. But
So
I
what are you guys
I
doing on
think the
river? Oh,
threes,
sorry.
the threes
Was
here
it
should
the
go to
eight?
like
I'm checking.
21.
I'm checking the eight here.
Oh yeah, definitely checking the eight.
Checking
Oh, yeah,
the eight
I
and
had-
then bluff catching.
his sizing is insane. This river.
Well, he's just turning his
752.
third pair into a bluff.
Yeah, he's just bluffing.
Yeah. But still,
And
such a
maybe he's
bad
trying
combo to
bluff-
do
maybe
it
he's trying to
with.
bluff. Maybe he's trying to bluff kings away, something like that.
Hmm,
So
I still don't like it.
he blocks sets of eights.
He blocks sets of eights and he blocks 8-9, and he blocks 8-9 suited.
I would have loved to seen villain 118 be a good player and rip like $21 into his face.
And what is it about the hand that makes you think that he can? That this guy can
Huh?
never have a flush here?
That sizing is so BS on that river.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
If
agree.
if you had the nine, what would you do?
Huh?
If you had a nine, let's say
I'd
you had,
make it like 21 if I had a 9.
so you make it like,
no, you mean
Well,
the
big-
initial bet? The big blind bet 21? No, you don't mean that. You mean.
No, if the big blind bets 7 into me and I have the straight.
Yeah.
You make
You
it
raise
21.
21 to
Yeah.
28. Okay.
So what
And
if you
how
had,
much-
what sizing would you use in big blind if you had a straight with the 9?
Well, we're not in big blinds, we're in. If he
No,
changes it to big,
no, if you were in the big blind,
okay,
if you were the big blind and you had a 9 here.
oh,
you
okay,
even
I
lead?
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, after it
yeah,
goes
he's
check,
checking
check on
behind,
the
he's checking
turn,
behind.
after it goes check, check on the turn. If I had a 9 and the gut shot hit, I would. Definitely lead out here.
What
Okay.
size would you use?
Board changing out of position, I would go maybe about. Not much more than half,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
66%.
So if that's what he's trying to rep from big blind here, that's actually not the worst sizing that he chose. I mean, he should have gone a little bit smaller, but sort of the principle is the same, huh?
Can big blind have any flushes as played? Check call a flush on the flop.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's small bet. I think.
Yeah.
If I have the nut flush in that spot, I'm not raising.
Yeah.
If I'm in
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
No, the nut flushes should probably call, but what about a jack high flush?
Jack high
Ten-
flush, I don't mind calling.
high
As you
flush.
get much weaker than that, though, yeah, I will mix in more
Yeah,
raises.
There's
Like
going to
you're
be a break, there's going to be a cutoff point somewhere where you're going to be raising your
correct.
flushes. So
Correct.
you might be raising like 60% of them, calling 40%.
Right.
Metric
So
I usually
then-
use is I raise my strong flushes and weak flushes and check call my middling flushes. I think that's
But
pretty
you can-
standard though.
So you can get here with a flush, and if I've got a flush here, I am betting pot at minimum
Okay,
because I'm targeting a 9.
okay.
I'm not trying to get jacks to call.
Sorry,
They
turn
will-
went check check, right?
I mean, you mean with his
Well,
actual hand? Yeah.
Plus, what also has me on this is a 4-liner is a great board to bluff.
Yeah,
Cause everybody can see a 4-liner.
Yes.
I mean, I just,
You're saying check this and
I
let the
think
other guy
maybe,
bluff in it.
maybe in Philly where I play, players are different, but I see a lot of people bluffing spots like this. So I wanna, I wanna test them, see. I
Mm,
don't do it
mhm.
all the time, but sometimes I just get the feeling it's like, nah, this,
And the test is for the cutoff to repop. And say, I
Yeah.
don't believe you have the 4-liner.
yeah.
And what
Okay.
would you do? Raise to like 21, 27, something like that?
You don't have to raise it that much. 21, I think, would be the top end.
Okay, sure. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because you're trying to bluff his bluffs. You're not trying to
100%.
Yeah, you're not trying
Yeah.
to bluff off a 4-liner.
Yeah.
By representing the flush.
Okay.
Uh,
No, that makes perfect sense.
Fold, raise, fold, re-raise mostly, and then the folds. Oh, he goes for the call on the button with the ace queen. That exists.
I mean, I have a lot of calls on the button with ace queen here, but that's largely opponent specific.
Okay.
It's a healthy mix though, like a very healthy mix.
Okay.
I don't know what the king 4 is supposed to do.
Yeah. It's.
I
the-
defend suited king.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's.
have you ever
but it's
seen
the
any
3.
3-way charts?
Yeah.
Once the
Yeah,
button
I don't know how it
calls-
applies here though.
Once the button calls, our range gets really tight.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
this is hijack. If we,
I mean,
if
like,
this was sizing,
I would be calling with the intention to check fold a lot of flops, but sort of like when you flop really well, that can work very well
Yeah.
in your favor, right? So
Yeah.
good implied
Yeah,
odds and
it's-
whatnot.
Look how tight we are after the call.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
Take
okay.
that call out.
We're really
and-
focused on hands that have excellent implied odds. So, but look,
Yeah.
what's interesting to me is that the suited gappers, we get the call because they still have the implied odd.
Okay.
But
And also gives
this-
us board coverage down at the bottom if it runs out low.
this button knocks out all this.
And
then
what
we-
is it if button doesn't call?
Oh, it was this. Take a look at
Alright,
it.
so here, in this one, we're folding 80%.
Okay,
And
okay.
this one, we get to play 7% more hands.
Okay. Seems
Yeah.
about right.
But look at what it does a lot to these kings. I mean, this king 4 is a never fold. And then
Yeah,
it's a
for
never-
sure.
Right.
I would argue
It's-
maybe this has to do with the fact that if you hit a pair of kings, it's very hard to realize that equity multi-way.
Yeah, you're playing for the flush, obviously.
Yeah, you don't think and you don't know you're good.
Whereas if it's heads up, it's a lot easier to
Yeah.
realize your equity.
So now in this mode here, it's taken away the calls already.
Mhm.
This is
You
without the
don't
equity.
have the button.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in a second. What I'm saying is that when we switch to 3 big blinds and the assumptions behind the 3 big blinds, so it's both these, we lose the calls in this region. Then
That's
you bring
actually
in the
kind of
button.
surprising.
Yeah.
Th-
But
I,
remember,
wow.
there's
there might
other
just be something
assumptions,
wrong with the way they,
but
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that.
at 3 big blinds, it's like this just doesn't, my call is way out of whack.
Well, yeah,
even-
that seems like way, way, way tight.
and that seems like way mistake.
Sure.
And that's gonna cost me way 2 big blinds. And the ace 10 gets it like that. Okay. Jack 10 suited should raise here. Everybody should fold. But he folds. Queen 10 offsuit should raise here and everyone should fold.
I'm never folding Jack 10 suited and low jack. Never.
No, that's a clear raise. Okay. Folded around to the 9s. Raise and take it. Queen 8 suited here. Fold.
Sliver.
No, I fold. 8-6 suited in the cutoff, fold,
yeah, I wouldn't play the queen 8 suited there.
fold.
I
I think
fold.
my cutoff is queen
Right, let's see
9
how bad-
suited.
How bad is this?
Versus low jack, I might even go queen 10. Or sorry, from the low jack, I might even go queen 10. But that's definitely the cutoff, queen 9.
What are
Yeah.
you looking at, Scotty?
So there's your queen 8. There, it exists. In the under the gun. You've got a healthy sliver of it.
Okay. Queen 9 is pure. Wow, okay.
Yeah, queen 9 is pure. You got a healthy
Okay.
sliver of it, and then when you get all the way to the cutoff, this 8-6 is way out. Way off, very wrong, and it's gonna work.
Oh, you had to look it up to know that?
I said it was wrong, and then I looked to
Oh.
see if, I thought I looked it up to see if a sliver saved me.
Oh, wait, that's you raising it.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Oh,
Yeah. Usually
so-
wouldn't, but honestly, it's whatever.
But so is this, so there you go. All right, well, that was fun. And we're done.
Yeah, just
Oh, thank you for making it easy.
yeah, exactly.
Do you guys like this donk on the
If-
repeat
if he
free? I
bet-
mean,
if he
theoretically,
bets
gets
10
some donk.
cents,
That's
You're
insane
supposed
with
to
his
fold.
stack sizing. Like, what is this lead with what he has behind here?
Oh,
That's
yeah, he's got a broken
mental.
stack.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Nope, that just made that my life easy.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have barreled anyway, but I hear
No,
you.
I wasn't going to.
This might
I
be an
shouldn't have
interesting
been there.
multi-way hand here.
I shouldn't have been there in the first place, but
Yeah, whatever.
you
It's not
certainly
the
minimized
worst.
my mistake. All right.
Let's see
raise-
if 3-3, set mines.
Nope.
No,
nope,
this one
3-3 doesn't
fold.
set mine. Queen, jack, this is a good 3-bet. And so
I
he
mean, I-
calls.
Call 3-3 there myself, but
Yeah, it's a good, you can set mine that, unless you
Okay.
don't, unless you don't have a calling range. If you don't have a calling range, you don't have a calling range.
Okay.
You don't get to say, I
Definitely
don't
do.
have a call, you don't get to say, I'm not playing a calling range and then go, but this hand I like.
I
No,
think
no,
it,
no, no.
I think
I
that
have a
it
calling
helps
range.
to- I think it helps to have a understanding of the table dynamic.
Yeah.
And what kind of three bet frequency or squeeze frequency you expect behind.
No squeezing, you can call lots more.
And sorry,
This
have
queen
you been at the same table for this entire hand history here? Or is this
I
a
think so.
mix?
I don't think it's changed.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 21 hands on people, yeah. And now let's take a look at something here. At 26 hands, my VPIP is 20, I'm at 23-12. So I look pretty fishy here.
That's
Doesn't
pretty
seem
small
terrible to
sample
me.
size.
But 12 is, the 12 versus the 23 is not great. Half,
Not many hands.
yeah, not many hands. I'm just showing you that with 26 hands, that's the level of accuracy in this case, because we know that I don't play 26-12.
Okay.
We also know that I don't play correctly. We've learned both those things.
Join the
This-
club.
Yep, this queen jack is a good 3-bet. He just calls. And once he calls, this ace-7 is a very bad call.
That
And
queen
we-
jack's gotta be a mix, right?
It depends. If you don't have a calling range in the small blind like I don't, it's not a mix.
So, do you know about the
Versus
theory
earlier
about never
position
calling out of the
raises,
small
yeah,
blind?
small blind will have a few calls.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of briefly familiarized with that last week, but I used to, in tournament settings, only have RFI or folds in the small blind, and my coach stressed I need to get a lot of calls because I'm giving the big blind way too many walks. So I've maybe it's a mistake, but I mean,
this is a
I'm
different
transferring over
situation.
those calls
This is a
into
different
cash games
situation.
too.
This is a different situation. You're talking about your opening range from the small blind, where when you fold from the small blind, you give too many walks to the big blind. This is after a raise. Do you have a calling range? In
And-
the
Oh
And
yeah,
was
no,
that-
sorry, you're right. I was kind of referring to that, but absolutely, I do have
Was
a
that
significant
all-
calling range as well.
Was that
Yeah.
also MTT?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because you have ton more calls in MTTs, small blind versus big, than you do have in cash.
Like, what is the preferred strategy from the small blind here? Is it a raise or fold, or I can't
what I play.
imagine that there's no calls. I can't imagine that the preferred
yeah,
strategy is raise
versus-
or fold.
It's going to be mostly raise, but versus earlier position raises, you're going to have a higher frequency of calls than you will, say, versus a button
Well-
raise.
Sure, that makes sense.
Okay, the charts that pokercoaching.com did have no calls. They did
Okay.
not allow a call in the small blind because it is their belief that you're better off 3-betting or folding from the small blind than calling.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna small blind's the position I need to hit for
Yeah.
study.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Because if you call, you're incentivizing big blind to call behind. Now you're out of position against two players.
Oh,
Which
it
is
makes
clear.
You're
perfect
always gonna
sense.
be out
I
of position, yeah.
fully
So
understand the
3-betting
theory behind it, but like queen jack suited, I mean, it's gonna play well post flop and it's gonna realize equity. And I
Yep.
can't
And-
imagine calling it
But-
as like a bad
and-
play.
And rake.
Yeah.
In an MTT, there's ante added to give you value for a call.
Okay.
If you 3-bet, you have a good chance. You have a chance to end the pot pre-flop where there is no rake. That's the one thing about cash games. At least online right now, if you 3-bet and win the pot pre-flop, there is no rake.
Mhm.
And in live games in California, the rate goes like this. If you win it pre-flop, it's like $1 or $2. If it goes to the flop, it's $8.
Okay.
So
Like
you're
$8 max.
you're incentivized to win the pot before it gets to the flop.
Okay.
In
Just a
I
quick,
cash.
understand.
just a
Right.
quick aside, if you win a hand pre live, do you still pay a tip?
I usually do.
No.
I
did-
keep my tipping minimal.
Oh,
Tipping
wait a
is
minute, wait a
just
minute. You mean if you
ugh.
just take the blind, you mean if you just take the blinds?
Well, in
I
this
get-
situation,
If there's
If I
no flop
3-bet and
dealt,
take it, I tip.
no
okay.
flop dealt, I don't tip.
I
Yeah.
tip like every second large pot I win cuz like it just gets ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
I tip less than the average person, but still, it's
That's
just
cheap, but
insane.
you should
you don't
tip
have to
every
do it, but
large
that's
pot you
cheap.
win.
I know, but I
There's-
don't.
There's no
Like-
reason to not tip in a large pot.
Well, there's no reason to tip at all. You're just hurting your bottom line.
There's a
Okay,
reason.
there is a
That's
reason.
my opinion.
Okay, what happens if nobody continues to deal because nobody tips?
Well, you're in a
Yeah.
casino. You're always going to have a dealer.
No, it's a free rider problem. He means if we didn't tip dealers, then the rake would go up to pay the salary of dealers who don't get tipped.
Okay, sure, but that's like
Yeah.
a theoretical discussion at that
Oh,
point,
yeah,
no?
but well, then, I mean, you don't have to tip at all. That is true. They won't make, they won't kick you away from the table. People make the decision to. And we were just saying that the tradition, the sort of standard is to tip every pot you win, except, Joey's is if there's no flop, he doesn't tip. And with me, if I raise and take the blinds, I don't tip. But if I get raised and I 3-bet and I take the pot, I tip. That's me.
Okay.
And
I
yours-
just
yours is every
imagine
other-
playing over a 5-year period. Every decent pot you win, you're tossing $1, you're tossing $2, you're tossing $5 to the dealer. Like
$1,
that
$1.
adds up to an insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're playing 1-2 or whatever, or 1-3. But still,
I
it's
do it
just
even,
like
even at higher rakes. At higher stakes, I still do $1.
okay.
That's me.
Okay, well that makes more sense to me. It's just
Yeah.
I've only ever played 1-2 live. I have very,
Okay.
very limited
Okay.
live experience.
Yeah.
And it's just I see people every time they win like a marginal pot, they're just tossing $1, tossing $2, tossing $1, tossing $2.
That's the standard. But also those people are also playing probably more for entertainment.
Correct,
And
correct,
they think they're
1000%.
entertained. Yeah. Now, but
Okay.
taking a look at the small blind theory, there's another thing about it. So here is the Wizards chart. It's got some calls, not a lot. And what we've learned is it's two things. The difference between having a calling strategy and not having a
Right.
calling strategy is
So it
small.
won't affect anybody in the building, right?
It's a small, there's a
Okay.
small difference, but that difference also implies that you play it
Okay.
correctly. So
Okay.
if you play your calls from the small blind worse than your 3-bets, and it's kind of easier to, because 3-bets a lot of times just take the pot. You don't have to play them that well.
Yeah, correct.
Then you have magnified this. So those are reasons not to have a calling strategy. Feel free to have a calling strategy. And if you have a calling strategy, as you
Okay.
see, Queen Jack is not wrong, but it is it is one of the hands that is the majority raise by far.
Okay. No, that's very logical the way
Yeah.
that you explained it. I understand
I
what you're
got
saying.
distracted from the tipping discussion. I want to just hit that really quick.
Yes,
Dealers are not paid much money at all
Okay.
by the casino. They earn their money by getting tipped.
Sure.
And if you stop tipping, the dealers will quit. Then there won't be dealers to deal the games if all of the dealers quit because nobody tipped.
I understood. That's why I do tip at some frequency. I will say in service industry, I am way, way more generous than the average tipper. I'm looking at poker as like a full-time player, a means to pay my bills. And I'm just like, it's just a leak that you can eliminate. It's a leak for no reason.
let me say one
Like-
more word and then do whatever you like, but I will say one more word based on what you just said. You said in the service industry, you're a good tipper. Poker dealing is a service industry.
Oh, okay, sure. But sorry, can you understand it as like I am
Yes,
paying my
yes.
bills from poker and it's
Yes.
just like I'm just giving away money for no reason. You know what I mean? I'm not
But-
saying that I'm not gonna tip, but I think people over tip.
Sure, and I'm trying to move on from it. But remember, the argument you just made is the same argument you should make is if you are a poker player, you should also not tip in restaurants because that's also a leak from your win.
Okay,
You know what I
I
mean?
understand what you're saying. I
Okay,
understand.
So good enough. All right, with this hand though, I'm gonna win some money. He checks. I'm definitely betting this, and it's 2-4-5. So this would be the kind of board that I should be betting infrequently. So therefore, when I bet it, I should bet it large, and I'm betting it. So this should be large. That's my theory.
Versus
I like it.
a true small blind range, though, I think that actually you can actually bet this pretty frequently. Versus the big blind range, it's different.
That's true. That's true.
I have a healthy
But-
mix
but-
between
but it
checking
misses-
and betting large.
But either way, it misses my range.
Yep.
So that's a good thing.
Do you check
Fold.
that a lot, Scotty?
No. Oh, you
Okay.
mean with a different hand?
No, I mean with that exact combo and that exact
Nope.
board.
Nope.
Pure bet?
That's-
Okay.
That's pure bet for
I-
me.
If I
Okay.
have any checks with a flush draw, it'll be like ace high flush draw.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Some king highs, but as it gets lowered in like queen high, I would definitely start betting.
The logic behind my check would be the lack of range interaction, and then I would fire a lot of large delay turn C bets.
That works too.
Okay.
But you can get value from an ace that's not gonna be able to make it to the river. I'm gonna be able to bet the turn again. And just a
Sure.
ball ace here is gonna call me and give me some money and
Yeah, I like it. No, I like it a lot.
here we go. Fold, raise, fold, 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 fold. Oh, but he doesn't want to raise a king 10 there in the hijack.
Well, he
And-
has been, he
Tighten
has
it
been
down.
on
Wanna
the
raise-
tighter side.
Right, and he doesn't want to raise a queen 10 on the button. That is a mandatory raise.
Oh,
there.
wow,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, we're at queen 9 here. And a sliver.
And
of
he's got
queen.
a decent VPEP too. I'm surprised he doesn't RFI.
He walked away
Oh.
from the table. That happens too.
And looking at the big blind with a 12 PIP,
Yeah,
he should be going down to like queen 4. Well,
sure.
that's probably what, couple pips wider, queen 8,
Uh,
queen
but
7.
his small blind is V33. He's got to get through the small blind too.
It doesn't matter.
Small blinds fold so much that that's not-
V33 is close to average.
Okay.
Small
Yeah.
blind just completes here, right?
No, he's gonna raise and he's gonna raise and take
Oh,
He should-
okay, okay, okay.
it. Raise and take it. All right.
It's not a tournament. Stop completing in the small blind. Raise.
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 I'm trying to learn.
And I
I'm
would,
working
and
on it.
here's another way to put it, which is this. Simplify your life and give yourself razor fold in the small blind and look, for the first 6 months, and then complicate your life later. You got enough other things to complicate your life with right now.
Okay. Okay, so I've kind of found it is more complicated playing only a raise or fold strategy because I get
Oh.
to so many flops with like marginal or junky holdings that I feel the need to like play.
In that case, since you're used to doing it with a limp from your tournaments, maybe that's the simpler way to go. And then
That's kind of what I thought. Like, I mean, I'm
then you
more
just got to get
comfortable
good
with
at
that,
it in
right?
cash.
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Alright.
Joey says no.
As a past coach, whenever my students would say, I'm having troubles with a spot, you know what I tell them? Put yourself in that spot, play
get
it
better.
thousands upon thousands of times, then you won't have trouble with it anymore.
Well, I know what I'm hitting in GTO Wiz tonight. It's going to be
Yep.
some small blind.
Well.
So
Queen Jack suited should raise off his broken stack and Ace King suited should win the money. There's the raise and it's overly large,
mhm.
which should incentivize me even more to think that he's committed. I go up to 13, he calls, and that's all the money that I get. So we're at a VPIP of 1, we are at an SPR of 1. I don't even have to bet here. I can bet,
Especially on a rainbow board.
Yeah.
I can
I
check,
wouldn't.
I can bet $1. I can do anything I want here.
Yep.
Check, check. Could bet now. Don't have, I'm gonna bet now because of the diamonds.
Yep.
And just know me. I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna wait for that. 10. And he folds. The draw is not enough for him. All right, so we got that money.
Seems pretty standard.
And I bet here large enough that he probably shouldn't call with his inside straight draw
hmm
and 2 overcards to the second pair.
Yeah.
And he has no implied odds left.
Yeah, there was something wrong from the very beginning when he chose that RFI sizing with his effective stack size. So
Yeah.
or with his
Well,
stack size.
and maybe there's something wrong with him having that effective stack size.
Yeah, he shouldn't even
Yeah.
have that stack.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Now there is the other argument where there is the small stack advantage, but we are thinking that nobody good is playing that advantage because there are more things you can get from a big stack.
Yeah, and
It's
even
like
if he
that.
is playing that, your exact combo is just so perfect to
Oh,
take out
yeah.
whatever he's
I
holding,
don't care.
so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here we go.
10-7 should
10-7.
open.
Yeah, 10-7 open, and I'm gonna have to fold the ace three in the small
Ace
blind.
three suited. That can 3-bet if you want.
See if
Yeah,
we
I
do.
love 3-bet here. Beautiful,
Like that?
beautiful.
Yeah,
Alright, let's do that then.
I go 8, but that's a minor,
Is-
minor difference, $1 off.
Is 10-7 an open from the cutoff?
That was suited, right?
Suited,
yeah, from the cutoff, yeah, I open it from the cutoff.
Must be pretty low.
right there
wow.
on the cut.
Okay.
I'm not doing it, but it's right there.
Yeah, I open 10-8, I fold 10-7. Generally, depends on the table. Weak table, I can open it.
Alright, folds around to the big blind. Folds around to the big blind. Oh.
Small, oh,
Small blind completes. Big blind should raise him. He does.
Yep.
I like the size, anywhere from 3 to 4 to 3 to 4 to 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, I use 4.
Yep. I think
BVB.
everything's allowed. And at his, and at his stack depth, this seems like a really bad call.
I agree. He should be
It-
playing full stack and he should defend in my
And-
opinion, or he should call, but
he
This is-
should have folded the first time with a full stack.
Yeah, the 9-3
Yeah.
suited is a fold out of the small blind anyway.
Yeah.
But as played, it's a fold here, and with a small stack, it's even worse.
that makes sense.
Jack just takes it. Fold, raise that queen, king 6 there and get called by the jack 8. Oh, raise and take it, even better. That jack 8 is a call.
Yeah.
Sorry, was that button Jack 8? Or was that
No,
big blind?
The big blind.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought I read it as button. I'm like, what?
No, big blind.
Don't listen to me.
Big blind against the cutoff, big blind against the hijack, jack 8's got a call.
Oh, I defend all day.
I'm saying this, I'm not telling him, I'm saying this to myself. Saying it's got a call, right? Jack 8? Yeah,
Oh yeah, I am
Wait,
for sure.
wait. Deep in the call. Thank you for the mistakes. There we go. Now this table's making some mistakes. We got villain 118 and he's making the guy with money play bad. So good. No, I like poker again.
And is this all the same session we're going through? We're just going hand by hand from the same table?
I think
Yeah.
so. I don't
Okay.
think, yeah, our stack size hasn't changed. It's been all the same.
Okay.
Old raise, ace 10, ace 10 against the hijack.
I think it's defend, I think.
3-bet.
I call.
Yeah, it is a defense. It's and it's a defend by, for me, this is 1/4 raise, 3/4 call.
That sounds perfect, actually.
So
That's like spot on.
I
show
3-bet
it
it
to-
25%, 100% of the time.
exactly. Yep, and I'm fine. By the way, I'm fine with that adjustment. I'm just learning the other one
Okay.
first, and there it is. There's the 25%.
I like
Yeah.
that. I mean,
You were spot on.
I-
Yeah.
I wish I
perfect.
had I wish I was able to do this as much as you do, Joey, but you know, when I look at an ace 10 off or an ace jack off, I get quite nervous about reverse implied odds.
Okay,
I feel I'd rather play the offsuited ones for a raise than just call.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
agree.
the same way about
I
all the
agree.
offsuited broadways if I'm gonna play it.
You know, I'd really like to look, we talked about going through someone's full hand history. I'd really like to see one of yours because it's hard to play this out of position when you get called.
Well, the last couple times I played, I actually didn't get. Cause I was looking at the last couple times I played for hands where
Uh-huh.
I had a weak, like a wide 3-bet.
hmm
And the last 2 times I played, most of them, I've been getting the value 3-bets more often than,
Okay.
cause
Okay.
I've just been
that
getting
must
like,
be nice.
I've been getting the jacks, kings, queens more than queen, jack off.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's just that, yeah, this is a very tough hand to play.
Right.
Out of position if you get called from your 3-bet.
I mean, it's
because,
sort of a good
I'm-
candidate just to play sort of face up, right? Like you call it, check on the
well,
flop.
so
and
let's say you
see where
call,
you're
so
at.
let's say you get an ace 3-4 board, right?
Yeah. He
You
see
now
bets third.
have, you now
Ace
have an
3-4
ace with what
board
is a
tall.
marginal kicker in a 3-bet call, in a 3-bet pot.
So you can go
Correct.
check call then.
I mean, I would call C bet, and a lot of turns when he barrels large, I'm folding.
Okay,
But also, Larry, look at this. So you're uncomfortable with it, but you're not uncomfortable with the idea of doing it sometimes, right?
true.
Or,
Yes.
or
Yes, I have a randomizer on this kind of stuff.
okay, great.
Well,
So you've got a
also-
randomizer and you've got your randomizer set on 10% for this ace 10. Fabulous. That means you're gonna be in there playing it. You're gonna play it the same way if you're playing it 100% as you are playing 10%.
Also, think about what happens with humans. You're three betting a live person here.
I hope.
They're, they're,
Yeah,
we're assuming they're not a bot. What mistakes do the live players make?
They fold
They
too
do,
much.
they do
bet.
not, no, when you three bet them, they do not four bet bluff you.
Mhm.
I think generally the thought is that,
And they
Um,
call too much.
yeah, they call too much, you don't 4-bet bluff enough.
So they're gonna have too wide of a range that you can three bet, C bet, and leave it up to them what they're gonna defend.
I thought that they undercalled the 3-bet. I thought
I
that was
think
what I
that
was,
generally
No,
the,
they
I think they overcall.
interesting. Okay.
I think generally the old wise, the wisdom now is that people call too much. They call too wide a range.
Okay.
Yeah. Not raising enough, calling too much,
Yeah.
etc.
But either way, this guy doesn't even defend his big blind with his V9 P6. Happy me
Uh,
to be at a table.
Yeah,
with him.
that's why I would be opening wide from
Yeah.
any position when he's in the big blind.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So too early for 8-10.
I agree.
Fold. Queen 10 in the hijack has slivers.
I'm
oh no,
folding.
But he's got
that's
17
pure, I
dollars.
think.
Who cares? What?
Queen 10 off,
Queen 10 off has,
definitely racing.
oh, in the hijack?
Pure open?
Yeah,
No.
I think it's
You
gotta
can
be.
do it.
Table
not just
dependent for me.
slivers.
Mostly
everything-
folding
everything's
if it's a
table dependent. We're just looking
particularly
at
weak
this.
table.
Yeah,
I can
I
find
think
the raise.
it has
So
some,
half.
Yeah, it has
Half,
some.
okay. All right.
Half.
I'd
You're
open
right, half.
it.
I thought it was, I was remembering it wrong. It's the Jack 10 that's the sliver.
Okay.
I'd hit the jack 10 too there from hijack
Yeah.
too.
Sure. All right.
I can depending on the table, but very table
But
dependent,
he,
even for the queen 10
so
for
therefore
me.
he calls it. Ace queen should ISO him. And he should fold, and if he doesn't, he should not hit a 10. There's the ISO. Small ISO.
Very small.
Too
Very
small.
Yep.
Right. I mean, maybe he's adjusting to this guy's stack, but he's not adjusting to our stack, so he's inviting us in. He wants to take his ace queen suited multi-way in position. I guess that's not the worst result for him. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, but
If you look at this not as a balanced play, but just exactly with this hand, it accomplishes good things for this specific hand in this specific situation.
I still like 3.5 a little more, 3.5
Oh,
or
yeah.
4.
Well,
I think-
4.5 is this, 4.5 is the theoretical standard.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that he doesn't care very much about going multi-way with this.
Okay.
And he doesn't need to get the SPR very low against this queen 10 because it already is.
Okay.
So maybe not a bad adjustment.
Okay.
Here we
There
go.
used to be an old, an old strategy around limpers is that one limper, you ignored them and you just opened your range to your regular RFI size. And
Right.
you still see that, but obviously most people don't do that anymore. They ISO.
Yeah.
And he's gonna, I
Okay.
assume he's gonna C bet. And just get this, and he's gonna slow down a lot. Oh, well, that helps him. So now he definitely can slow down. Well, now he can't slow down.
I
So,
mean, against this sizing, I think it's a pretty clear call, but like,
well, since there's no
Or
more money to lose.
just put the
after-
rest in.
well, or
Yeah.
that's, sorry, that's what I thought he was all
Whoa.
in there. My mistake.
Whoa,
What do you guys think of this fold?
I mean, like, villain is so heavily weighted towards like strong value combos here. I mean, it's kind of stupid the way that this hand played out. There's a lot of stuff I would like to change about it. I mean,
These are important for me to see because, frankly, at my stakes, I see this kind of ridiculous play sometimes. And it's good for me to see that oftentimes it's this weird mergy semi bluff.
right.
yeah, okay.
This is a mergy semi bluff, right?
It's
Yeah.
just, oh, I agree. It's just annoying to see. Like,
I will say that on flop, I would have used a bigger size. So the Jeremiah Williams argument is well, I guess this is close, but I'd use half pot. I'd use like 350,
Right.
325.
And the Jeremiah argument is,
His argument is that you're playing against a cap range that's capped itself twice. It's limped and then it didn't re-raise you for your
Right.
ISO.
okay.
but cap ranges include king 10 offsuit.
They do.
It's actually kind of an argument for just checking behind too.
And then this becomes an easy call.
Yeah, I hope I'm not being influenced by the hands. I mean, obviously. I mean, I think yeah, it's a weird one.
Jacks raise and take it. Ace jack raises and the queen 3 is going to defend. There we go.
Come on,
And
hero.
This hand is gonna play itself. I'm gonna bet small. Oh, I bet large. Wonder why.
I think your large bet is good.
It's good with the jack 10, but with his SPR, I don't need it.
Oh yeah, I was thinking full stacks. I think you'd have
Yeah.
it's a bit.
Yeah,
this
it's
would be
I mean, it's a large
bet.
bet board. And maybe that's why I did it, because I was because I knew that from our recent study. So I might have just sort of done it automatically.
So Jonathan Jaffe had it. Can we go back to that hand real quick?
Yeah.
Jonathan Jaffe had a webinar on Saturday called Check Back Monster.
Yes,
It went into it. I don't know if did you see it? Anyone else see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this would fall into his check back monster potential frequency. It has a lot of the qualities he was talking about, right?
and what are those qualities?
So we've got a very good hand, relatively static board, I think is the new terminology we're using. And against the right, and in this situation, our SPR is 4. So it's easily to get stacks in if we choose to on a good run out. And it makes sense fish, which this guy certainly is, are just sometimes gonna go hog wild when you check. And you've got a hand that can easily call.
Hello.
Everybody still there?
Oh,
We're st-
I was muted. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
disagree with, I disagree with that here. Because the target is kind of passive.
Okay. Yeah, I think aggression frequency probably makes a lot of sense. Oh, we lost our boss. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Joey, you're alpha now.
Okay,
That's why it went
I
quiet.
don't have the hands, but
So just to
should be
talk about,
back.
why don't we talk about check back monster for a minute and see, I'm sure Scotty's gonna come back. He's in a hotel. Yeah, Gene was in that, I'm sure. So I think Gene's saying that this hand might be a little too strong to check back.
what was it? Jack 10, what?
It's like Jack 10-4 or something like that.
Yeah,
And what position? It was hijack versus,
Big
That was
blind.
button
It
big
was
blind,
button
wasn't
big
it?
blind. Yeah, there it is.
Scotty, you're on mute if you're talking.
button, big blind, Jack 10-4 rainbow.
I got
Jack
cut off.
10-2, now that it's up, we see it.
So from you guys that were in that class, do you think this qualifies as a check back monster in the Jaffe world?
I prefer it with ace queen
No.
on queen 10 deuce.
Yeah, or like a Jack 9.
Yeah, I'm betting
I mean,
this.
this obviously isn't this isn't solver related, right? This is Jaffe pulling some very interesting exploits out of his
Bad.
storied
Yeah,
history
but-
in poker.
What
This is
would
not-
have,
this is-
One thing I did find about those hands in particular, I think they were a lot of hands, and these were lower-ish frequency plays. Like these weren't like he wasn't doing it all the time. It was
Yeah.
he was being selective, and it wasn't the sort of what would be a solver would consider the high frequency play.
For sure.
and this isn't a texture where I would. Like if I had pocket jacks, that's different,
Yeah, for sure.
but one pair on this board,
So yeah, this is the kind of hand that he was at a low frequency checking back. This wasn't about having the nuts and check back. This was about having, 70% equity and checking back at some frequency.
See,
See,
I
I
prefer
would-
betting so strong because when a queen plus peels on turn, it's just like the value of your hand goes down so drastically. Just you can kind of protect.
Yeah, and he
your
talked
equity.
about that. He talked about,
Sleeping
the drawbacks is that sometimes you're gonna get outdrawn.
and I think I like Dean's answer in chat too. I'd rather check a jack 6-2 than a jack 10-2.
Oh, 100%.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
for sure.
I mean, there has to be more than just flopping top pair. There has to be some sort of board texture and range interaction that he is choosing to do this with too.
I
Agreed.
mean, the thing you said was that you said a static board, and this board isn't particularly static. But our particular hand has the advantage that of the two cards that are dangerous to us, that are, I don't mean because of his hand, but just we know that we don't that a queen and a king we're uncomfortable with. But at least we pick up a straight draw from both of them.
I mean,
So
on this
True.
board, an 8, a 9, queen, king, 8, well, an ace, yeah, an ace could still crush us.
It could.
Is
I
this the
think there's
preferred
just-
sizing? 4
Huh?
into 5.5? Is this the preferred sizing in the spot? 4 into 5.5 for the C bet?
I
I
would
think
say
So it's
yes.
one of your
Wow.
options.
I would
Okay.
say yes if it was full stacks.
Okay. Oh,
I'm-
I didn't even notice the broken stack. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Without the broken stack, this is a mistake. This is too
Okay.
big.
Understood.
All right. All right. So we're folding around to the fours, who are going to raise. And now here's the interesting thing: the king deuce is an easy call here, but that's because some of its implied odds at 20 big blinds. Is this an easy call? Well, I guess you would do
Yeah,
it.
that's a good point. That's a
certainly
good
do it.
point.
I mean, I
It's too- it's too big.
am calling
It's
it,
too-
but I see your point completely.
It's,
Totally.
it's good. I
Well,
mean,
I think blind versus blind. King high isn't necessarily just worried about implied odds.
Yeah.
A king high is kind of strong pre-flop blind versus blind.
that's good.
Yeah.
And he's
Uh-oh.
going to lose only.
Would it have
17.
been would it
Fifty
have
nine
been
cents.
completely insane for big blind to jam pre?
I was thinking about that and a couple
No.
pieces. I mean, so I don't know if has he limped yet or broken stack?
I think yes, he has.
So if he's
Looks pretty
limping,
fishy stats.
if he's limping, he's going to limp in the small blind at some frequency, and he's now declared with his normal sized RFI relative to, and with his broken stack, that he's got a good hand.
Yeah.
So I don't think this hand. It's easy to limp, it's easy to shove because it's an easy play and you're done.
Mhm.
But I don't think this hand quite has the qualities to do it. I
No,
think
that makes a lot of
like
sense, Larry. I see where you're coming from completely.
I think a king eight or king nine suited would be better.
Sure.
And even when you're ahead, you can never be happy when your jam is called. You can never be, king deuce can never be that far ahead.
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
For sure.
what does it dominate? Deuce three,
Yeah. Exactly.
deuce queen. All right, so anyway, he does, and he's gonna lose some more money, but let's see how much. Check, check, jack. That's the five. Oh, at this point, he can fold the second pair.
Easy.
Once again, did not, avoids making any
Like
money.
what is villain
Yeah.
or what is villain betting that size with his effective stack that you're happy
He's
calling
full-
bottom pair with,
We should
Our
be
illustrious
confident,
hero is gonna have an interesting hand here.
we should be confident these fours are
No,
folding.
he's gonna
with their-
fold.
With their V of eight, V's of eight, fold
Yeah,
fours.
hail fold.
We raise. The ace queen should three bet us. He does. Everybody else folds, and we should call at least, and I don't see why we're four betting this. It should just be a call.
I agree.
And we lose on a board that's gonna make it easy for us to lose. Check,
Yeah.
bet five. We might call once. We don't.
I don't see a need to call that flop.
Yep, those were just his cards.
Okay.
And often we have a hand that those are our cards and that wasn't the time. And often we have a board for that hand and that wasn't the time.
Okay.
Ace queen raises and takes it.
What's the earliest position that 7-5 suited supposed to RFI? Is that
The
cutoff?
five suited,
Yeah, the combo that you had from the low jack here.
Button.
Is that supposed to be a
Button.
cutoff RFI?
No, button. Button.
Button? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
There's-
also curious about what the
There's
tens
cutoff.
do versus a three bet out of position.
Let's look. There's your button. I mean,
Okay.
you've got some suited connectors in there, but you don't have the gappers till you get,
no, that's the cutoff.
okay. I know, that's what he said. He said not the cutoff, and I said, nope, not the cutoff. There's your
I
cutoff.
don't even think you might not even get it in the button. Oh,
Sure you do.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure you do. Plenty.
Yeah. Perfect.
I mean, I play, but I didn't think it was in the charts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you ever fold tens? To the
I
three
never
bet?
have- I've never done it before.
You think we should?
Well, I don't think so, but
Do you
let's see.
think solver does?
Let's see how bad it is. Okay, hijack versus cutoff. Hijack raise, cutoff. Three bets, comes back to the hijack with his tens.
Like nines, I bet fold.
Tens do some. I've never done
Pretty,
it.
pretty healthy mix. Flip a 3-sided coin and do anything.
I
So,
always find it interesting here that there must, can you put it on? Oh, you do have an EV, thanks.
Yeah.
That we have greater implied odds with the suited connectors than we do with the set lines.
I think
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And given populations under three betting, it should tends be more folding more,
yeah,
Yeah,
set mining more.
I think so.
they should. I'm not gonna. Ask me again in 6 months. They're tens.
Yeah, asked me 2 weeks ago and I'm ripping it, so
Yeah,
I'm learning.
or I'll make this argument. I'm gonna simplify. I'm gonna take all the nines and push them and simplify it and push them into tens, and I'll fold nines and call tens and play tens.
I mean, it's
Okay.
not even close. If you look at like the 5-4, 4-6,
Yeah,
it's
They're-
got significantly more EV pre than the pairs.
well,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
the reason is, even
That
if you
makes
flop a
sense.
set, even if you flop a set, you can lose with set over set. But like the 6-5 suited, the winning hand is gonna get our flushes and straights.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if
Many
you're-
more ways for it to realize equity compared to the set mine.
Yeah. So if you have a flush and your opponent has a set, you're gonna lose. Or gonna
This
win,
is-
I mean.
This is the opposite, I think, of what poker coaching is. So like poker coaching.
I mean, I'm never really worried about set over set in game. It's just gonna be, it's
Similar.
so rare that that's actually going to happen.
That's because you play tournaments.
I know, I know. I mean, I've
Where
seen a
you just
couple
don't, where you don't
hands,
have 100 big,
but
or you don't have 200 big blinds to lose in one
it's
hand.
just so mathematically rare. Like on a relatively dry board where you're middle set, it's like, okay, they've got like one combo, you know?
Remember, it's only mathematics. It's, here's the thing. It is, it is as rare as it is to flop a set. No, that's not true. That's not true. What I was about to say is nonsense. Moving on.
Okay,
But you wanted to
Well,
see,
if you have a
wanted to see
pair of
like-
sevens and you flop a set, there's a 6% chance that you're gonna lose set over set.
I'm not sure that's mathematically correct because doesn't it have to be 13% of 13%?
No, because you already hit the 13%.
yeah,
But the 13% has to happen concurrent.
yeah.
Right,
but
you already hit that 13%.
Yeah.
Now you're
So-
at the next level.
Yeah, when you flop a set, he has to
And-
do, things have to happen. You have to be up against a pair that isn't 100% of the time. And then he gets 13% to flop his set.
Well, no, he's
it.
going like 13% to 13%. But when the first 13% already happens,
Yes,
you can exclude.
Yeah.
You exclude that one in the upcoming statistic to finish out.
right.
How often after I flop a set, the odds of set over set before anything flops is 13% times 13%. But
Yeah,
the odds of
assuming-
set over set once you hit your set isn't 13 times 13 anymore. It's closer to, like, if you have a pair of twos, it would be 13%.
No, Joey, there's one other you're missing one assumption here. When you say what are the odds of you flopping a set, it's 13%. But once you've hit your set, there are two conditions need to be true. Your opponent has to have a pair bigger than yours and hit a set, and you're when you say it's 2%, you're giving it 100% that they have a pair, and that's not the case. So it's against their range when they have a pair, and then the 13% of the more than 13% of the time that they
Okay.
get a set by the river for you to lose set over set. The thing you said was the mistake that I said first. I forgot to include the odds of him having a pair at all.
But the thing,
okay.
also with sets though, is you will lose the straights and you'll lose
Yep.
the flushes too.
Yep.
Yeah, if you flop a set, you're not necessarily committing to piling in all the money by the river. Like, I mean, I have a lot
Oh,
of,
sure you are. Unless it's a four flush, in which case you have to.
oh, I'll
check the
flop the
river.
nuts with this, with a set a lot of the time and end up folding rivers on extremely unfavorable boards.
Well,
a
you're gonna
lot.
see you're gonna see me not do that coming up in a bit.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
fair enough.
But the okay, so this was the cutoff. This was hero position was the cutoff. Yes. No, hero position is the
Hijack.
so hero in the hijack. Stack size is gonna
Why
be.
are you reverting to poker coaching
He wanted to see it.
on this one?
He just wanted to see it.
That's all right. I've got it. I don't need to see it. but
Okay.
We can
It was-
look if you want.
It was just hero. Oh, sorry. Hero position in the hijack action versus a 3-bet from the cutoff and the tens.
Oh,
Only-
that's right. You were saying they calls more pairs and not the,
Yeah, no, you were right. It doesn't have any of those suited connectors and it mixes in all of those
Yeah,
middling and
yeah.
lower pairs.
It plays this the same, but it
That's
plays,
exactly what you said.
plays that differently. Okay. But that's not the hand we're on. We are folding the 5-7 suited that we play on the button and not on the cutoff. Ace queen raises and takes it. King 7 suited should be raising there. He's a VPIP of 29. I expect him to be in. I wouldn't be surprised to see him limp this.
Is that bottom RFI range for hijack?
No,
Bob.
that's actually, I think it goes to king 5.
Really? Okay, all right.
Suited kings are good.
Yeah,
Play them more. Suited
Our
kings
hero
have-
gets to have a good hand to see if we flop with.
Yeah, look at that. Thank you. Thank you.
Good
for the
luck,
flop.
hero.
Goodbye, hero. Check bet fold.
Pretty standard.
Fold to the villain. Oh, look at this, king three. That is not in range.
You're supposed to fold this, right?
You might
Yeah.
be, well, you
Okay.
might
You're-
be aware of how tight this guy is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty
I'm
tight.
I'm expecting that this is exploited because I know that this is five, five off.
Perfect.
I
This
know
is-
you don't use a HUD in game, but this is, yeah, this guy's tight. You probably picked up on
Yeah,
it.
I've been here for a while. I mean, I've got 46 hands. We've played with him. We've watched him. He's
Doesn't-
also one of the players I've watched closer because of where he is. I've been
Doesn't
watching
king
his.
six, doesn't king seven raise on the small blind there?
Yeah.
King, it depends on the chart, but we've got king seven, we've definitely got king eight and king nine. King seven is not on the wizard chart. It's on an old poker coaching chart. It's in the thing where I say it's optional to do. But this is way off.
Yeah.
Ah, king
And-
seven's in the poker, in the GTO wizard.
Is that the cutoff? Or is
It
like, is that the
is.
lowest one?
Is, I didn't think it was. I didn't have that marked. I had that marked not there. Small blind, everybody fold here, fold. Small blind open.
It's
We got
one of
three
the,
here.
it's one of the ones that doesn't do
Oh,
it full
right.
frequency, so you took
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah, okay. It's right at the bottom,
Right.
more or less.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what-
hit king seven there. That's why I was wondering when you said you were five away. I'm like, wait, that's,
No, I'm four way. Yeah, you're right. Okay, there's our raise. And it doesn't work this time, but he's gonna play honestly. Here, we bet, he calls, oh well. And
Are
now
you
we
betting
have,
that flop 100%? Blind versus
I am at
blind?
him apparently, because if I'm not betting it 100%, I don't know why I'm betting it with this hand.
'Kay. 'Kay.
Yep, and now life is over. Yeah. That was.
Cause I play
was-
that flop as a lot of, with a lot of check raises. That king three is a really bad particular combo to check
Yeah.
raise with, but
That was exploitatively unlucky.
okay.
wait,
fold.
what did villain 116 have there?
Yeah, you should have
Ten
opened.
king. he's
Yeah, it's
folding.
an open.
Yeah, yeah. Open from the hijack, 100%. There we go. King, jack, let's see, does he let that go? He does. So the eights here. Definitely against you know. Against the small, if you don't have a calling range, you don't call it, you raise it, but
I'm
you
calling.
can't fold against this too, so maybe that pushes it into a call, but I just raise it.
Okay.
And then this is bad on top of bad.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's insane. Wow,
Here he goes, but it got the king jack to fold,
for sure.
and I have the eight of diamonds.
Got all the ace X in range.
And I just never bet it.
Now you're reading how passive this guy is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm betting that flop 100% of the time myself, holding
Yeah.
the diamond on an ace high board, betting
No, you have,
small.
you have pocket eights. You don't need to bet it.
So this guy's range is capped. I mean, he would have shoved, the top of range, so. And also, I think Scotty's identified him as being pretty, passive.
Yeah, but also when
So-
that deuce comes, now it's a four liner.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's got all the 5x too, so.
I mean, he's in the small blind, so who knows what his range is. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't expect it to include king nine offsuit
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
to a three bet. I don't know where that came from.
I actually think in solver, he has no calls.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
yeah, it's just weird.
I like checking it down the river. That's not
Yeah.
bad.
Let me.
You might be able to get a small bet on the river if you wanted to try to bet less than half to see what you get
Hmm.
called by, but
It's sort of the perfect combo just to check down too.
Too early for 10-8, and so 5-5 should just get a walk. But I bet the 10-8. How far off is this? Low jack. 10-8.
Can't be too far off.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. Yes, it is.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I fold, but
okay,
But wait,
so let me
Big
tell
blind
you
is
why I did this.
the
super
big
tight.
blind is a VPIP of 7.
Exactly. I can do
You
this
should
from
probably be raising 10-2 suited there.
exactly. You can raise,
Yeah.
you can raise very
That's-
wide
That's a bit of
against
a
big
stretch.
blind. Yep. So at this
I
point,
hear
in
you though.
at this point in the game, I remembered what Joey said 6 months later, that I can widen my raise from any position. And so I do.
And then when he
Thank
calls,
you,
alarm
Joey.
bells should go off.
I know. Thanks a lot, Joey. I really appreciate the advice. Come on, club. Check. This is clearly a continue.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Oh,
And
that
now how
stinks.
deep are we? Are we deep enough to call this check raise with a flush draw? Yes, we are. And now we're deep enough to fold.
Yeah.
Oh, you play too good.
Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it?
Oh, and I
No,
play too bad. Well, there we go. That was the end of my day. At least I
He
didn't
wants
get,
you to get there.
he does.
It's a really tricky way that he played that too. Like it was kind of perfect for him. So
Make it stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. No,
Such-
no,
Such a
no.
good card for you.
oh wow.
You. Oh,
Dude, I wouldn't have faulted you at all if you ripped it. Like it's sort of
only one misplay, furiously misplayed street. Good.
no, that's actually not bad what you did.
Yeah, two misplayed streets, one furiously misplayed street.
Like yeah, it looks like you kind of sniffed out that something was up here.
Mhm.
So it is what
Yep.
it is.
Yep, and that's something that's up was not me. I'm not up. I'm down
Yeah.
14 at least. All right,
I think a
we
lot
go.
of people could have
foldy,
easily gone
foldy,
broke.
foldy. Jack 9 should open on the button, and King Deuce should defend. There's the open, easy defense with here, and from the button.
every time he's
King
opened the
Deuce-
button, he min raised.
And this
Interesting.
King Deuce can 3-bet against the button.
Yeah, I like a mix.
Yeah, and for me, this is a 25% raise. Let's see what it actually is.
Sounds about
And
right.
remember,
In
when it
practice,
is a
I'm
min
probably going a
raise,
little lower.
when it is a min raise, you will 3-bet much less than you
Right.
would.
But there it is. There's the lovely 25%.
Look
Perfect.
at the 2x chart. See
Mhm.
how that changes.
I'm going to, but remember the 2x chart is changing more than just the size. It's changing other assumptions that
I
take out a
know.
lot of calls. We just remember that. Let's see what it is. 2x.
It's calling pure now.
Then it goes to a pure
Yeah.
call. All right. And what I do is call. That's a good flop for everybody. Check range. He bets half pot.
Could be
I
some
have a lot of
call
check
Sometimes
raises
check
here.
raise, check raise, check call, both are good.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Half
think
pot,
I call.
half pot's
when
gonna
he
push
goes
it
half
down to a
pot.
call. Yeah,
Makes sense.
alright. That's good.
Check.
Wow. Great card for you.
Raise. Raise now?
I mix.
Wait, go back. Let me, oh wait, stacks. Oh, so you have 81.
More inclined to raise with the queen of
I-
hearts.
Queen of hearts on the board.
No, sorry, that's what I meant. I'm more inclined to raise with the queen of hearts peeling on the turn rather than just
Oh.
calling if it was a lower heart.
Here we go. He calls with a straight. And I'm, yeah, I'm not big enough to get, I was not big enough to get it, to get Geo. So I'm leaving 15 there. And I'm getting called.
Well. Are you mostly leading this river?
Oh, yeah. I check raised the turn.
Yeah, if he raises.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I mixed. I thought we called the turn. My
Yeah,
bad.
my check raise on the turn is too small.
No, I mixed up turn action.
Yeah,
My mistake.
I gotta push this up to about 24 to get another $10 in and lower my SPR by 4. So I get 10 more in. And that brings this to 59, and I've got 5 less, and that's 59. So that'd be a perfect geo
Yeah.
if I did 24.
Okay.
And as it is, I did this. So
Well, it worked out nicely.
worked out, but making that a jam would have been happier.
Sure. Yeah, if he's gonna call that sizing, he would call a jam too.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So raise and then 3-bet. There's the fold, there's the call.
Sevens are a mix there, right? Or is it pure
Well,
three
not
bet?
if you don't have not if you don't have a
Oh,
calling.
okay. Yeah. No, sorry. I keep
You
forgetting.
don't have a calling range. The mix is going to be raise and fold.
Okay.
And doing that one thing. So now we're back to normal sizings.
Solver will mix.
There we go. And
With
so this
folds.
was button raise, small blind is mix
Okay.
of raises and folds. There's a
Understood.
call there, but that call is even with a calling range, that call is really slivery.
I can see that. Yep.
And this is what we're saying is, why are you fighting for these slivers?
Sure.
Why do you want to, why are these slivers the hill you want to die on? A hill of slivers.
Just
Alright.
I know when I make these calls pre, it's like it's gonna go post and I'm gonna win like my share of pots
Yep.
post flop, and they're not gonna be massive pots, but I'll take down my share and be in
Okay.
profit in the long run.
All right. So I'm gonna 3-bet C-bet into the straight draw, and then he's gonna win this because I'm so marginally made now. Check, check. Maybe do I check call? If I check call this, nope, I block her with 4th pair, so I guess I'm bluffing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems a little large as a blocker, but
3rd pot, maybe. But I guess I'm
And
bluffing.
I think it's
I
a
wasn't
bit
getting
weak.
called by less. I was bluffing.
Yeah, it's a bit weak to block or bet.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. The only thing I love about my play there is that it worked. I don't think it's right. All right, here we go. There's a raise. This king queen it never folds here. And never folds even more to this size. I can call it on the button and I can raise it. We'll go with a call this time.
I like a call.
That brings in this call here.
Interesting.
Congratulations to the jacks who are going to get $18. What?
Ooh.
What?
See, I used to make that call 100% of the time, but you guys told
Well-
me last week multi-way I shouldn't be making that
This call
call.
is terrible.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
This call is terrible.
And now that's because it's multi-way, right? If this is heads
Oh,
up
yeah,
against the
because
jack,
it's
it's fine.
Yeah,
Just out of
it's both
curiosity, can you go
Okay.
back one notch? Let's
Yeah.
just see what you're. Yeah. Yeah, your backdoor, you have essentially backdoor equity usually is around 2%, 3%, and this is 2x backdoor equity.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting just to see the equities. I wanted to see the equity was.
I at least have
Okay.
more equity than the 5-3 who's gonna call. Fold, anyway. Hey. We are deep enough.
Please
Eight
not
spade-
the
We're
8
deep
of
enough.
spades.
Yeah, he could hit the 8 of spades. That would be good. And there we go. Check. Do I turn this into a bluff? Oh God, no. Yep.
I mean, the way that it was played, I think you kind of have to. If you call that turn and he checks river.
Goodbye, $26.93.
No, I mean, the way it was played, I think it's kind of a, not necessarily mandatory, but strongly preferred bluffing spot.
Hey, I got a better idea. How about folding the turn? How about folding the flop? So you're not there to
Sure.
do this bluff. That would have been nice. All right. Here we go. Fold, raise, and take it.
Let's see what our broken stack villain does.
He's gonna play those deuces.
Yeah,
And
I
he'll
think he
play by
calls.
calling. I don't think he's gonna jam. Yep, that's how he plays. And we check behind with what we think is showdown value, but isn't. But now is. That sizing as on a delayed C bet, I think is okay on a board that
Yeah.
should definitely be hitting.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like maybe just marginally smaller, but I mean, you're getting kind of splitting hairs at that point, so.
Okay, king, jack, raise, and jack nine, don't defend. Against the hijack. Jack nine defend against the button and against the small blind.
Mm,
But now he's decided he's done playing poker. He's done for the night.
It's gotta make up those losses with something.
Check, bet fold. And so this guy here is also sniffing out, trying to get him to make some moves. And I think has not seen that what he really is that he is way too loose, but also very passive. He is not
Yep.
betting check two. It's gonna
Yep.
be hard to get him to induce. And he folds a king jack in the hijack.
Wow.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hmm.
This king eight plays and should take it, but he may limp. Yep, there's his limp. And so we get to see a flop we don't deserve. Check, bet, fold. Oh, he's gonna let me get there. Don't bluff. Check, bet, fold.
Yeah, beautiful.
All right. Queen nine, he might limp this. And if he does, this king 10 can certainly raise him.
I'm gonna cry if he limps.
Nope,
Oh.
does the raise, does this over raise. And with this and his stack, I don't know that a king 10 wants to re-raise and open himself up to a four bet from people who have money just to
No.
get this.
I'm
This is an
folding.
interesting spot.
Maybe just fold.
Yeah, I like a fold.
With the king ten?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, against this goofy RFI size with his goofy stack size and like the goofy plays that he's made in the past, it's just why? Get
Well,
out of
let's
the
go
way.
back to let's just talk about theoretically the value of two big cards at this stack depth, right?
Right.
I mean, we've got two big cards,
mm-hmm,
and so, I mean, I can look at, if we looked at this in tournament land, doesn't really matter because antes and break, but this begins to become, I think, a call because it's two big cards.
Let's
with
look
three
at-
other players, I don't know.
In
Yeah.
tournaments,
Closing
I'm
the action,
V-pipping that for
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, that's the problem is even if we look at this at 15 big blinds, in cash, the problem is we're not playing 15 big blinds. We're playing 100 big blinds against these guys.
There's also an argument to be made that we can almost ignore, right? Because he's playing with 14 big blinds.
Yeah,
And then if we're gonna make that argument, then would you open this on the cutoff?
Well,
Right, but
can
you
you
want-
really ignore him when he chooses that RFI sizing with his stack? Because that's highly suspect.
Well, I think the argument is that,
he's done it a ton. So it's not saying, we don't know what it says about his hand.
Okay,
He's done a bunch of limps and these 3.5s.
okay.
I'm not gonna
okay,
die on
okay.
the hill that we should fold the king 10 suited, but that seems really,
But here's the one thing, Larry, about you're saying ignoring him. If you three bet it, you haven't ignored it. You've jumped in with you've jumped in and opened 13 big blinds.
yeah,
Or
so you call,
11 with king 10 suited in full stacks. If
so
you
you call and
if you call and you say, that's how I'm gonna size it. You,
yeah, maybe,
Yeah, it's
maybe,
weird.
maybe I'm,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe I'm being a little too wild here. I just feel like, are you guys, what are you gonna do with king jack suited?
All right, so here's another way to look at it, though.
Hmm.
This guy's a fish. So it's time to ISO the fish. Just, there's that simplification.
Yeah, Well.
This
our
guy's a
player
fist.
view-
It's
I
time
might
to,
be, I might in my
ISO
head be
the button.
overvaluing
Yeah.
king ten suited. It's so pretty.
right. I am not sure why I'm sure why I chose to play against him, because we've seen how wide his range is. I'm not sure why I did not choose to 3-bet him.
I
Yeah,
think
if I'm
because
playing
you-
that combo, I'm
Because he
3-betting.
had, you've got a good combo, and because if you 3-bet him, you didn't want to
Yeah.
get shoved on.
He's just never, yeah, he's just not playing it. He's just never he's just never playing his hand. You just don't get him to induce. You're just playing.
And he's never jamming with worse, I guess.
Here we go. Ace deuce on the button is a little wide, by the way. This should be ace 3,
Okay.
but it's better than his range would
Back
be.
in the sixes days, he used to yell at me. for
Yeah.
calling
Ace 5 raise and take it. And there's his very small bet. Ace deuce, I guess I'm gonna raise it again. Oh, we're done. That's the last hand in this
Oh, okay.
sequence. We're now repeating hands.
Okay.
Yep, so there we
And
are.
our fish was able to hold on with his $10.
Hold on.
Not
Yeah.
get stacked.
Yeah, that's true.
Now let's
It's amazing.
see. Let me get, the last hand is the ace deuce. No, this is the last hand of the 10 deuce. Okay, so let me record that number. And then I'm just gonna look at, yeah, okay. Hash class up to. Add ignition hand there. Save. Fold it, close this. See here if that's when we left the table. Yep. That's when we left the table. Or that's when we stopped getting hands. That's weird. Why would we leave the table when we weren't in the big blind? Are we in the big blind on the next hand? No, I don't understand. I don't care. Okay,
The other player could have sat out and then you had it checked.
yeah, that
And
could
you
have been.
automatically sat out.
Yep, that could have been what happened. All right,
Okay, so tomorrow I'll look for you early. For
Yeah.
you to open and then exit.
and then I'll hand it over to you.
Okay,
Yep, and I'll do that, I'll do that between 9 o'clock and 9:15.
your
I'll get that.
California time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And I'll do
I-
it close
and-
to 9 as I'm able to take a break.
all right. Shout out for doing that. I know you have to kind of depart from what you're up to and come back. So
Yep.
thank you.
So quick
Have
question
fun
regarding
tomorrow.
some material here. So I obviously, I only joined you guys in these sessions starting last week. So I was a little bit behind. You guys were going through that 2E and 3E, the geometric sizing. I think it was Joey mentioned there was some sort of a chart that
Yeah,
showed all
I'll-
the common pot sizes and the 2E.
I think I've
3E
got that
sizing.
chart.
Where in the server is that? There's like 1,000 channels here. I looked for it and I just could not find it. I would like to go through some
I'll
of the
post it,
material.
I'll post it here. Oh, and let me also, let me stop recording for YouTube. Bye, YouTube. Oh, and smash that like and subscribe.
Yeah, because I wanted